conceived on February 10th. Complications detected in my early months of forming. Around my sonogram, you can see the evil was swarming. Perhaps it was what the world was seeking in a child. The doctors warned me out. My mama's in denial that I kicked her and gently rubbed my hands across her stomach. Told her keep them off me, mama. I'm coming, I'm coming. Couldn't sleep, interrupted a piece when it was time for me to eat. And since carrying me caused all the swelling in your feet, just know that I'm thankful, I'll let you feel it. With my heart beats, the doctor visits and physicians moving me around. You can sense my discomfort in every other ultrasound. And I'm running out of room in here, steady sliding down. And she opened up her legs and pushed me out, pushed me out.
Nigga never died, black face shiny eye.
When I awoke, I recall them bumping out my nose, screaming at the top of my lungs, freezing cold. Wrap me up in blankets after dressing me in clothes. And then I met the woman that I owed. At 3 o'clock, 11970 was the birth of a dying species, and this I know. The truth was in my bloodline, planted in my seed, the last of this motherfucking breed. The last of this motherfucking breed.
Brad Johnson, Mr. Brad Johnson, the doctor is ready to see you in Ward B.
Excuse me, sir, wake up. I think the doctor's calling you. Isn't your name Brad?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So does they say Johnson?
Hello, Brad. I'm Dr. Knob. I want you to sit back and relax now and tell us what's been going on in your world. Your world.
If I get rocked, this shit for my kids, nigga. It's that real shit.
Even though what we do is wrong,
We still hustle till the sun come up. Crack a 40 when the sun go down. It's a cold winter. Y'all niggas better bundle up. And I better be a hotter summer rapper onion just to rock it down. You hot now, listen up. Don't you know cops' sole purpose is to lock us down and throw away the key? But without this drug shit, your kids ain't got no way to eat, huh? We still try to keep mom smiling, cause when the teeth stop showing and the stomach start growling, then the heat start blowing. If you from the hood, I know you feel me. If a sneak start leaning and the heat stop working, then my heat start working. I'ma rob me a person, catch a nigga sleeping while he out in the open, and I'ma get him. We gotta raise our kids while we live and make $1 million off a record belt. My niggas out of prison, fuck a Benny or a Lexus. My boys in the squatter, nigga talk reckless, then I hit him with the smithing. But I'm never snitching, I'm a rider. If my kid's hungry, snatch the dishes out your kitchen. I'll be wildin' till they pick me out of lineup.
even though what we do is wrong,
We keep the nines tucked, chop dimes up, rap about it. Wild out, fuck niggas up, laugh about it. I'm not trying to visit the morgue, but freeway move out till I sit with the Lord. Till I get my shit together, clean up my sins. Freeway got it in like 10 in the morning. And I can get it to you like 10 while you yawning, man.
even though what we do is wrong,
Still deliver the order, man. And I ain't talking about chicken and gravy, man. I'm talking about bricks and yayo, halves and quarters, 4 and a half and halves. You do the math, swing past and scoop up your daughter. She wanna roll with a thug that rap, you do the math. Heat on blast till my stacks in order, man.
Man, let me get 'em free. Cold never slacking, man. Sipping in the black rain, faster than a red ghost, getting ghosts from Pac-Man. One time, know I got a knack to get that change. Leader of the black gang, ROC, man. Bang like T-Mac, ski mask, air it out. Gotta kill witnesses, cause free bears sticking out. Y'all don't wanna witness shit. We squeeze hammers, man. Bullets breeze by you, like Louisiana, man. but I gotta be Tiana, man. So I move keys, you can call me the piano, man. Rain, sleet, hail, snow, man. Slang, ill-E, hydro, man. No, BC in the third lane. Ram still praying, working on my nerves, man. Like son, you gotta get your soul clean before they blow them horns like Coltrane. Still I cry tears of a hustler, wipe tears from my mother, pull out beds for our brothers. That's above us, make beds for the babies, tuck kids under covers, buy cribs for their mothers. Shit, I probably be wildin' with they father, Thomas Robin, tellin' Najma that I'm riding for a father. That's like my brother, like same mother, different father. Any problems, dog, know I got it. And still we grind from the bottom just to make it to the bottom. So crack in the alleyways. Still gave back Marcy and Dollar Day. Real gangsters make hood holidays. They ain't beggars, but we still pay homage, man. Soul food Sunday looking like big mamas, man. Tell a gang I never break my promise, man. Man.
We good. All right, let's try this again. Peace and Black Power, family. It's your boy Psychopath and your girl Renee. Black at you. Now, I mean, early this time with the RBG Pill Show. What's good out there, family? Let me get some ones out there if y'all can hear us clearly. You know, I know I'm a little bit slow right now. You know, I still ain't get everything together. I know I forget something. Shout out to Blackfish. Shout out to Nikki. Shout out to T. Thomas. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Claude was good. Shout out to Midtown Pookie was going on. Shout out to Love Wisdom. DJ Mozzie. Darius. Shout out to everybody. Let's see, Naomi Bucker was going on. Shout out to everybody else out there that's listening. Now, me and Christine, what's going on? All right, everybody, we good? Okay, that's what's up. Peace, Renee, what's going on? You okay? Renee hasn't been feeling too good. So bear with her today. What's good, Renee?
Yeah. What's up? Hey, peace, everybody. Peace to everybody in the chat and everyone who will tune in. Yeah, I'm not feeling the best, but I'm here. And, we're going to get it in. We're going to do what we got to do. And, yeah. So we're gonna get it in.
Definitely. And you know, we got some things we need to talk about, family. We got some things we need to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, it ain't the first time. You know, this ain't our first rodeo, but you know, we noticing yet again. You know, people, you know, acting very ignorant to a particular topic, you know, because of their emotional attachments. And, you know, we over here don't really like dealing in emotions. You know what I'm saying? We like dealing within reality. And, you know, when you're dealing in certain realities, you got to deal with things that's going to fight against the alternate reality that you created. You know, and this is when cognitive dissonance starts to kick in, you know, conflating views. And usually that usually causes an emotional response, right? And that's when these conversations tend to turn to crap. You know what I mean? You know, conversations really get kind of, you know, muddy and everything, because, you know, you get weirdos that want to, you know, start, you know, bringing up, you know, we've heard all the arguments over here. I'm daring some of these one-droppers to come over here. I know they're going to listen, but they're not going to click that link when I throw it out there. What these one-droppers are going to do, they're going to listen to this. They're going to run back to their channel, start up a stream, discussing everything I said, and start motherfucking inserting all kinds of fallacies and again appeals to emotion. They're gonna get around their little fellow one-droppers, because that's the only place they're gonna be correct at. Because the second these one-droppers click that link and try to debunk anything we're saying today, they're gonna look foolish. That's why they gotta run back to their panels and have these conversations where like-minded motherfuckers like them can co-sign their slave mentality. Because let's not get it twisted, family. We about to get into that in 1 second. How this is nothing but a bunch of emotional Negroes trying to hold on to a slave narrative. Right? Because that's exactly what we got going on right here. Renee, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I'm just making sure you're there. And
I'm here, like,
okay, yeah, just making sure. Okay, let me know when you're ready to mess with because we're gonna open up with this. I really want to open up with this article because it's going to set the well, it ain't an article, but you know, it's a explanation of what we're about to get into, right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm still getting. I think I got it. Do I got it? Yeah. Okay. Give me 1 second. Almost. Wait, give me 1 second. All right. I'm just trying to set it up so they can see it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put it so they can see it while you're reading. Okay. That should be good enough. All right. Okay, let's get into it, family. We're going to discuss this term that y'all might have heard before, and I had some people question me what this term means. And we're going to get into it in deep detail. And the name of the term is quadroon, right? So Renee's going to explain via this wiki page on what a quadroon is. Go ahead, Renee.
All right, so let's get into this. So quadroon, can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay. In the slave societies of the Americas, a quadroon or quarter run, I guess, was a person with 1/4 African and 3/4 European ancestry, or in Australia, 1/4 Aboriginal ancestry. Similar classifications were octoroon for 1/8 Black and hexdecaroon for 1/16 Black. Governments of the time sometimes incorporated the term in law, defining rights and restrictions. The rise of such terminology is a characteristic of hypodescent, which is the practice within a society of assigning children of mixed unions to the ethnic group which the dominant group perceives as being subordinate. The racial designations refer specifically to the number of full-blooded African ancestors or equivalent, emphasizing the quantitative least, with quadroon signifying that a person has 1/4 Black ancestry. Etymology. The word quadroon was borrowed from the French quarteron and the Spanish, yeah, y'all see that, both of which have their root in the Latin, I guess, quartus, which meaning a quarter. Similarly, the Spanish cognate is sometimes used to describe someone whose racial origin is 3/4 white and 1/4 Indian, especially in Caribbean, South America. Racial classifications. Quadroon was used to designate a person of 1/4 African/Aboriginal ancestry that is equivalent to one biracial parent, African, Aboriginal, and Caucasian, and one white or European parent. In other words, the equivalent of one African, in this case, I'm going to just say African because that's who we're talking about. We're not talking about Australians. And I don't want to get that confused with, So the equivalent of one African grandparent and 3 white or European grandparents. In Latin America, which had a variety of terms for racial groups, some terms for quadroons were Morisco or Chino, see Casta. The term mulatto was used to designate a person who was biracial with one pure Black parent and one pure white parent, or a person whose parents are both mulatto. In some cases, it was used as a general term. For instance, on U.S. Census classifications to refer to all persons of mixed race without regard for proportion of ancestry. Okay, so the octoroons and mulattoes or whatnot would be mixed or put together, I guess, classified as mixed race altogether. Didn't depend on the proportion, I guess. The term octoroon referred to a person with 1/8 African ancestry that is someone with family heritage equivalent to one biracial grandparent. In other words, one African great-grandparent and 7 European great-grandparents. As with the use of quadroon, this word was applied to a limited extent in Australia for those of 1/8 Aboriginal ancestry as the government implemented assimilation policies on the stolen generation. All right, tercerone. Okay, so I'm probably messing this up. It's Spanish or Latin or whatnot. Okay, anyway, was a term synonymous with octoroon, derived from being 3 generations of descent from an African ancestor, great-grandparent. The term musty was also used to refer to a person with 1/8 African ancestry. The term Sakatra was used to refer to one who was 7/8 Black or African and 1/8 white or European, i.e. an individual with one Black and one griff. Is it called a griff? Parent.
Yeah.
Or one white great-grandparent. The term Musino, okay, again, I'm messing this up probably, but refers to a person with 1/16 African ancestry. The term quintroon or hexadecaroon were also used. In the French Antilles, the following terms were used during the 18th century. So just to run through real quick and do my best. 7/8 Black ancestry, Sakatra. 3/4 Black ancestry was a griff, or I guess Capri. 5/8 is a marable. 5/8 Black ancestry. Half ancestry was mulatry, I guess mulatto, what we call mulatto. 1/4 is quarteron. That's 1/4 Black ancestry. 1/8 Black ancestry is métis or quarteron. 1/16 is Mamluk. 1/32 Black ancestry Yeah, I'm not even.
I can't pronounce some of this other stuff.
And
I do want to point out
164.
real quick before you go on to the last part. I want to point out this guy right here in the middle. The pictures. Look at this guy right here in the middle. This is a quadroon. This is somebody with one black parent, right? This is what they look like.
One black grandparent.
Yeah, one black grandparent. Yes, exactly. Excuse me. One black grandparent. And this is what they look like. All right, my bad. Go ahead. It's only a little bit left.
But that's a good depiction, like those pictures. So yeah, you point that out. The first one is mulatto, so they have one black parent. The second one that Psycho was talking about, they have one black grandparent. Right. They have one black grandparent. And then the last one, Octoroon, has one black great grandparent.
And they all the same family. All the same family.
Right.
So I want y'all to see how the blackness gets squeezed out. I want y'all to see it starts here. It starts here. It's all the way going here. You can see it. Here, you can't even. You wouldn't even know this guy had black in him unless he told you. Look at this guy.
Yep. And you can see that they continue mix. Well, clearly, they're quadroon, so the family continue mixing with white. The Octoroon, the family continue mixing with white. So you see how, the dynamics can very easily shift. We'll get into that, and we've gotten into that, but I'll continue reading. In Latin America, the terms grid for Sambo were sometimes used for an individual of 3/4 black parentage. Interesting. I.e. the child of a mulatto parent and a fully black parent.
I.e.
I just want to point that out. I.e. Malcolm X.
Right.
Yep. I just want to point that out. Okay. This is about done, but let me read the favoritism.
Last part, yeah.
During the antebellum period in the United States, abolitionists featured mulattoes and other light-skinned former slaves in public lectures in the North to arouse public sentiments against slavery by showing Northerners slaves who were visually indistinguishable from them. This prevented them, the audience, from putting slaves into category of other and not related to them in their society. Okay, I wanted to say that you will hear a lot of people who say, they try to make these claims like there's never been racial classifications for mixed people or biracial people because it's been so squashed down to, with the whole one drop rule and things like that being, perpetuated that, oh, well, if they're mixed, they're black. But you can clearly see historically that wasn't necessarily the case, that they still had racial classifications and racial labelings for the variations of being mixed. And I feel like, there's a lot of things that historically we, should do away with, like the one drop rule. However, I think it is important in doing that to be able to classify what Blackness is, which is one of the, what we're going to be talking about. And it's important to, and I know people have, issues with the term like mulatto, which literally, basically means a mule. I get that, and that can be demeaning to them. However, terms like biracial or mixed race, I think we need to, use some of those classifications because they're accurate. You see in those pictures, it goes from mulatto to quadroon to octoroon. And a lot of people would just say, oh, they're black. It's a lot of black folk today who will say all those 3 pictures, they're black. And that's not true. So I just wanted to say that about the, the whole breakdown of the quadroon.
Yeah, I was getting the thing ready. I was getting the thing ready. But the whole quadroon thing, like we're going to, like, before we get too much deep into it, I want to show y'all saw visually how problematic that is somewhat, but I want y'all to get a deeper look into just how troublesome this really is. You know what I'm saying? If y'all just give me 1 second. I'm getting stuff together over here, family. I'm getting stuff together over here. All right, let's well, a little bit more. All right.
So yeah, so we're gonna break that down, but some of these terms, you know, we really need to be able to understand what it really means. So
right. We really need to know what we doing to ourselves, because weirdos keep wanting to try to convince me that all this shit is legit. You know, we shouldn't be worried about this. We worried about the wrong shit. Blah 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 blah. Anything else? No, y'all full of crap. Y'all full of crap, and I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all how problematic this is. Y'all think I'm batshit crazy, right? Y'all think I'm nuts, right? Okay, I got you. Give me a second. God damn, why the fuck is this shit?
But we in this time now, people, with this whole thing being against labels, and that's very problematic to me. And that's been something I wanted to speak on for a long time. And, you know, you hear people saying, oh, no labels. You know, they're saying that about gender and about sexuality and about race. You know, they're saying, oh, no, it doesn't matter the race. And we're all the human race and we don't need labels. And my thing is, first of all, yes, you do. Second of all, if we don't need labels, why do you have a name?
Right.
Don't have a name then. Just be, there's no way a person can.
Go tell some Latinos they don't need labels. They need to stop calling themselves Latinos and see what they tell you.
There's no way a person can communicate with you unless they tap you on the shoulder. Because you don't have a name anymore. Because you don't need a label.
Right.
You don't need labels. So when you work, you can't go get a job because what you gonna put down?
Right.
And then at your job, if you are employed and you're doing away with labels, how are you going to have a check? How are you going to get paid? You're going to have your bank card. It has a name on it, doesn't it? Well, that's a label. Get rid of labels.
Facts.
We don't need labels, right?
Right. All right. Now, let's get to this video real quick. I need y'all to see this, family. I need y'all to see this and listen very closely. Let's get into it.
What's up, y'all? Cody Delicious. Y'all know I have like mixed emotions about these mixed people videos. I still enjoy making them for you guys. Like, I don't mind. I just feel like a broken record. But I try to like read through the comments that you guys leave and try to touch on certain points people make. Those of you who might be clicking this and you're entirely new to my channel, wow, you've got a lot of catching up to do. I am Nix, and if that troubles you, you have a lot of videos to explain and whatever. But black and white is in my DNA. Here's the thing. A big comment I see, a lot of people would say, you know, because I'm a quadroon technically, that's the label we're going to throw on me today, because I'm not 50-50 mixed. You know, I made a video, I don't count as a mixed person. For example, there would be like a black person who is like, look at them, they're black. You see them, their skin tone, identify them as black. But they might be a quarter white, which is very, very common. The majority of us are all mixed up in this world. And so people will be like, they just look black. And it's like tricky, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first ever got that comment, I was like, dang, good point, like touche. I'm the reverse, guys. That's the part that only I think mixed people understand, or people that have similar upbringings to me, is that I'm really familiar with that quarter. Like, that's the part of me I know. That other big majority, which I know, like, you're looking at the skin tone and you're like, I don't know, girl, like, where's the mixedness? And a lot of you are also not, so that's cool too. The reason I do identify as mixed, and I know, like, a lot of people will say, you know, you're only a quarter, so like whatever, but for one, I'm never going to disrespect my ancestors and family members like that. And two, I've preached about it too many times, is the way you were raised and your cultural upbringing really shapes your reality. I know that part of me better than I know the bigger majority of my DNA or whatever. So, like, sorry, not sorry. Like, sorry that frustrates you, I guess. I don't expect anyone to identify in anything they wouldn't identify as. Like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, so what? A black person who's a quarter white should say they're mixed. I mean, technically they're mixed. Yeah, they could if they wanted to. Like, if they're raised in the kind of environment where that was, you know, what they knew best to identify with, and by all means, like, if that's the truth and that's the reality of their life, there, get to know them as a person. So yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to come on here and talk about that real quick. That's a big comment I get. I was raised to know that I am mixed and raised closer to the black side of my family, as I've said so many times, but it hurts. So that is what I like. Know. That is what I identify with. That is the culture that I am comfortable in. Again, nothing against this side, the majority side, the bigger side of me or whatever, the bigger piece of the pie. But I'm not as familiar with it. Like, as simple as that. So I guess that's why I identify as the mixed person. Again, whatever someone is comfortable with, as long as it's the truth and it's a reality and it's not no Rachel Dolezal or anything, then each his own. But yeah, that is all. That is it. If you, I'm cringing saying this, but if you have any like specific topics that I have not touched on.
Nah, I don't got no specific topics that I want you to touch on. You touched on everything I need to hear. Stupid motherfucking cave bitch, because that's what the fuck you are. That's what you are, and you're trying to push yourself off as half fucking black. Trying to push yourself off as mixed. Did y'all see that? That's a whole fucking Becky right there. I want y'all to see what these little swirlers grandkids are going to look like. You understand? Because that's what they're going to look like. Because motherfuckers try to act like I'm tripping and shit. I be having weirdos running around here losing their shit because I tell them about how all you need is for your mixed child to have to reproduce, to procreate with a non-black person, and that's it. That's it. It's a wrap. And motherfuckers will sit up here and try to convince me that, oh well, come on, Psycho, how do you know that they going to motherfucking go mess up with somebody, somebody non-black? I'll raise them a certain type of way. I'll raise them with a black mentality, right? We hear that's when the whole transracial thing starts coming into play, right? The whole, you can be black if you identify as black, right? That's when we start playing around with that little dumbass logic, right? But if they raise black and I instill black values in these kids, then everything's gonna be hunky-dory, right? Right, because all you gotta do is raise them to have some black pride, right? All you have to do is be the most pro-black motherfucker you can possibly be, and this mixed child is gonna procreate within the race and keep your genes going. Oh, really? I tell you what, motherfuckers. Are you weirdos trying to tell me y'all more pro-black than this motherfucker? Are y'all trying to tell me, you weirdos, are y'all trying to tell me that y'all have a bigger black mentality than this motherfucker? I challenge you weirdos, you swirling ass cave lovers. I challenge you motherfuckers. Prove to me you more pro-black and you taught your kids a more pro-black mentality than this motherfucker. You see who's hugged up? That is Muhammad Ali. One of the most radical black figures we have ever had. Do you see that motherfucker hugged up on him? That is his grandkid. Look at that Billy Bob. That Billy Bob has the greatest boxer of all times, genes flowing all in him. Well, at least a little bit still floating up in him. Just a little bit. About 1/8 worth. I want you weirdos to tell me that this quadroon is a black man. And I want you weirdos to tell me that y'all are more pro-black, that y'all can raise your kid with a more militant mindset than Muhammad Ali. I dare you motherfuckers to make that claim. I dare you motherfuckers. I got motherfuckers running around here who call grown ass fucking black men park apes, trying to convince me that they're more pro-black than Muhammad Ali. That y'all can raise a motherfucker with more militant mindset than Muhammad Ali. This is what y'all motherfucking weirdos is telling me. You weirdos is telling me pink pill motherfuckers can run around here and teach their child about more blackness than Ali. See how that shit work? Huh? Got weirdos up here yapping the fuck off about a bunch of nonsense. Wait, where's the other shit at? Where? These motherfucking weirdos running around here trying to tell me that this motherfucker right here, look at his motherfucking kids. These motherfuckers look like quadroons. They mixed already looking like quadroons. Look at his son, his little fucking son. Look at that motherfucker. He pale as shit with blonde hair. Look at this motherfucker. Mother's trying to tell me that these kids, that Andre, they got a billionaire pops. They gonna tell me this motherfucking kids are gonna grow up marrying black people. Look at all the motherfuckers behind them. Ain't nothing but white people all around them. They mother, the people around, all the people he in business with, all the little functions that he go to. Nothing but white people. And you gonna tell me this little mixed kid is gonna grow up wanting to mess with a sister. Right. Good luck with trying to make me believe that. That's you those one-drop swirling ass motherfuckers, you Becky lovers, trying to do mental gymnastics. Let me show y'all one more motherfucking picture, then I'm gonna pass the mic back to Renee. Let me show y'all the logic of you motherfuckers and y'all slave mentality. I want you motherfuckers to see how white people respect their whiteness. We have zero respect for our blackness. That picture right there says everything you need to know as far as the problems in holding this slave narrative that is known as the one-drop rule. You Negroes have the slave mentality. You Negroes is keeping slave narratives alive. No other motherfucking place in the world outside of this country calls mixed people black. You go to every other country, they call mulattoes. We broke down all the names these motherfuckers are called, right? They make classes for these motherfuckers, right? They make a separate class to throw these motherfuckers in. Everywhere else, besides here in this country. You know why that is? Because in this country, when we got here on the plantation, that's what they beat into us. We had this dumb ass logic beat into us. And weirdos want to still keep that slave mentality. Y'all don't want to give up these slave traditions that white people gave you. That white man told you who the fuck was black and y'all believe that shit. That white man told you who the fuck is in your family. He told you who the fuck is a part of you. You go to any other country, black people don't buy into that shit. They like, go fuck yourself. Over here, it's the opposite. Motherfuckers tell me something wrong with me. They tell me to go fuck myself. What's wrong with you, psycho? How are you gonna fight against the white man's classes and shit? How you gonna fight against his class system? What the fuck? What you doing, psycho? You can't do that. Psycho, he gonna get you. Psycho, I said, he gonna get you. That white man gonna get you. You better stop talking like this, psycho. He gonna get you. He said they black, damn it, they black. They always been like that ever since we got here. You can't change that, psycho. They're gonna get you. Fucking scary ass, weird ass Negroes. Fucking slave ass Negroes. All you one droppers got the slave mentality. Every last one of you motherfuckers. Every last one of you motherfuckers decided I'm going to let the white man tell me who the fuck is black. Every last one of you lazy ass motherfuckers, because y'all lazy. Y'all lazy. Y'all scared to identify yourselves. Y'all lazy. And y'all got emotional attachments to these fucking mulattoes. And y'all feel incomplete without them. Y'all feel incomplete without these motherfuckers being a part of the black diaspora. Because you put them on that high of a fucking pedestal. Please, you one-droppers, don't go nowhere. I'm going to drop the link, and I dare you motherfuckers to come up here and challenge me on this. I dare you motherfuckers. Don't run back to your channel like a coward around your echo chamber. Challenge me here. Here. I'll pass the mic. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah. So I want to, here's the thing, because it becomes an emotional conversation with a lot of people and things like that. But I want to break down a couple of things going back historically about this. And in terms of the one drop rule, and in terms of that being instituted, reasons why, things that precipitated that, which of course we know about slavery, we know about the enslavement of our ancestors, and we know that our female ancestors of African descent, that, these evil white bastards had sexual access to them, and they were able to sexually abuse, rape, and molest Black girls and women. And through those brutal encounters, you had a lot of biracial, and at that time what were called mulatto children who were born. Now, in some cases, you had, some rules and things where, well, let me not get to that part yet, but let me say this. So you had, these biracial babies who were born out of this pain that was caused and inflicted on our female ancestors. And you have, people like Frederick Douglass and others who were, the result of these situations. And the thing of the matter was, they were classified as having to be, what the mother was in those respects. As I read in Wikipedia, it went to whichever racial group or class was at the lowest level. And so, of course, that would be considered black or whatever we were called at that time, Negro, nigger, whatever. So the thing is this, I can imagine, I wouldn't want to imagine, but I could imagine that, of course, a mother is always going to love their child, even when their child is a result of a rape. You know, even when their child is a result of molestation and rape of a little girl who gets pregnant and has a baby by this white man. So you can imagine that there was still some love and compassion and concern, of course, for your baby, because your baby is innocent. You know, your baby didn't be asked to come here in this manner. So there is, in that context, a certain level of understanding that people had considered the child as black per se, because being an enslaved people, you know, not being free, being owned as property, there was a certain different context to it in that time, although you had scenarios where children who were considered, or who were mulatto, they only had to do 25 years of service. So when they were 25, they could get their free papers and things like that. You had scenarios where they were able to go to schools or have their own schools and, you know, have other somewhat privileges over black people based upon their fathers being white men and, you know, whatever that meant. So, you know, there's a whole history there. But the one drop rule was done in order to protect whiteness. And it was done so that the white privilege, white power, white circle of influence, white businesses, white communities, all of the above could remain as white as possible, so that these people could not come into your community and be considered as one of you. These people couldn't kind of meld in because of their lighter complexion, because, you know, they have some distinct differences from people who are just straight up of African descent, straight up black. They wanted to make sure, no, you got to be white. Do you hear me? You got to be white. So if you have one drop, which I think one drop, as far as on numbers, I think it technically went back to, is it 116? I'll have to look that back up because it's been a long time on that part. But it's something like that, because there's no way to quantify literally one drop. But you understand what I'm saying. But it went it might even go back to 32. It goes back very far. So you bet not. Nothing better be traceable ever on you that has to do with being with blackness, a black relative or ancestor. Absolutely not. So it was done in order to protect their whiteness. So all the while, you know, that is happening, you know, coming out of slavery, that premise still being very much so alive, being very much so considered, although some things here and there shifting. You know, we just adapted to it. We accepted it. You know, of course, we're in a position of being subordinate, you know, in society under white people. So, you know, you're going to fly with it. You're going to go with it. Okay, the one drop rule, if you got one drop, you're black. But at the same time, there were always, like I said, certain distinctions that were made for people who were of mixed race. So once black people were quote unquote free, you had those same distinctions. When you look at a lot of the so-called first black people who achieved certain things, many of them were biracial. Many of them were mixed race people. They were octoroons and quadroons and were classified as black. And the reason being is because they were allowed to do certain things that a black person, and when I say black, I mean easily identifiably black, dark skin, kinky hair, you know what they are, ain't no question. the people who were mulatto and quadroon and octoroon, they were allowed in certain circles. I'm not saying that they were treated great and wonderful, and I'm not making that claim, but they had more privilege than a Black person had, okay? And so a lot of your firsts were people who have roots in being quadroon or whatnot, or even octoroon, and were called and considered Black, okay? So you have to understand that as well. So then that's how you go down the line, and you know, you get all of the elements of colorism and all of that, because those colorism games were played early. And America does have a caste system. You know, the darker you are, the lower you are in life, and the higher you tend to rise in general. That's just real, you know, whether people want to admit that or not. So, you know.
Real quick, to this trucker guy in the chat saying he'll come up and everything else, you already fucking up, bro. Listen, I already know where you about to come up here with, and before you do, if you come up here, please stay on topic. I'm not playing the whole slavery happened in reverse, abo dumb shit and everything else. We are discussing. I don't want to play that little stupid game with y'all pseudo nonsense, y'all Alvin Van Sertima pseudo crap that's been debunked numerous times. Y'all little mythology books and everything. You're wishing on a dream shit. Listen, over here, we came from Africa. We are not African because we wasn't born there, but we came from Africa. We're not gonna play these little dumb games, all right? That don't try to derail the conversation. We discussing, squeezing out Blackness. We not talking about nationality, but all because you about to turn this into a nationality thing and all that shit. Go ahead. We're not talking about that today because that's how, like Psycho said, the conversation gets derailed. Okay, we've done shows on that. We'll if you want to do it, we can do it one day. We can set it up. You can come up. We can talk all about that. But yes, let's get
some ground rules.
We go in on that topic. We do go in on that topic. This just ain't the show for that.
But see, this is what people need to understand, and this is why it's difficult to have real functional conversations with some people on here and things like that, because we have to agree on a starting place. If you can't agree on a starting place, you can't have a conversation. So if we're over here talking about breaking down Blackness and we're talking about people of color and these types of things, and then you're jumping in, well, black is not a color, black is a crayon, or black is a crayon color, or what does black mean, or we ain't African. We're not at a starting point. We can't be at a starting point. So we have to have a certain agreement to go and build from there. If you're not on the level of the agreement that we are of African descent, in the context of the conversation we're having, we are of African descent. When we say Black, we are referencing being of African descent, more specifically West African descent. Okay, that's what we're talking about. If you don't know what that is, if you say we ain't African, then you can't have this conversation because we don't have a starting point. So we'll have to have another conversation about that, but that's not today, and we're not gonna get off the square. We're not doing that. So back to what I was saying. Anyway, so, you know, you have all of these layers to it. Like I said, you know, women who love their babies, who were the product of these situations, the different rules and things that apply to different people based upon being Black, being mixed, being quadroon or whatnot. So you have all of those things meshed together, and it's like, oh, we all Black. We all Black, but somehow only the people who are mixed and this and that get to go over here and do that. We all Black, but somehow only the people who fit this right here get to do that, right? This we're all Black thing. And that has been very detrimental to Black people of two Black parents, of Black grandparents. It has been very detrimental to brown and darker skinned Black people. I'm just keeping it a buck, and this is not about colorism, but we do have to acknowledge that complexion is an element of what we're talking about. Because when you see those pictures of the mulatto, of the quadroon, of the octoroon, you see the changes in the complexion. You see, even starting with the mulatto, they were much more brown. And by the time you get to, not that they were as brown as a black person of two black parents, but they had a little more color on them. By the time you get to the octoroon, there's absolutely no melanin whatsoever present. So, you know, that's not the central thing, but it plays a role, like, let's be real. So we have a very tumultuous relationship with the one drop rule, because I have to say this, a lot of black people, while we have accepted the one drop rule historically, has been because of a low racial self-esteem. And because many of us, not all of us by any means, but many of us find lighter skin to be more attractive, find lighter skin to be more desirable. So when you have people who are mixed or whatnot and say, hey, I'm black, that makes some black people feel good. That makes them feel good because they feel like that makes blackness look better. That makes blackness look more attractive, to have people who are biracial or who are maybe quadroons say, oh, I'm black. Like the girl in the video that Psycho played. That would make some black people feel good if she's saying I'm black, or she really wants to say I'm black.
Oh,
but if she said I'm black.
Yeah, it was people on the comments co-signing it, applauding her, everything else, accepting her, to giving her invitations to the cookout. All it was disgusting. Oh, the one drop nonsense under there was madness. It was crazy.
You know, exactly. And a lot of black folk want that because it just makes them feel better. Because they feel like blackness, you know, it's like, that's why some people are so quick to give blackness away, because they don't cherish. They don't value it. Something that you value, you're not quick to give it away. You're not quick to give the stamp of approval to somebody else for it. No, you're going to be far more critical of what you value. So when you have people like a Sean King and Rachel Dolezal and these people, and black folk want to call them black, they want to give blackness away to anybody they deem lighter, whiter, because that's better. They don't want to value it and be critical and have a critical eye and say, wait a minute, you're black? How are you black? Explain it. You have two black parents? See, and then when black people do that, we're wrong, right? We're wrong when we question Sean King and Rachel Dolezal and these other people who claim to be in Paris Jackson and these people who say they're black. Then we're wrong because we value, we cherish, we love, we respect blackness. And we're not willing to give it away to anybody who says I'm black and you see damn well they're not, or that is questionable. See, and that's the thing too. The girl made the comment about being culturally black. And I really have a problem with that in a lot of ways. And my problem with that is part of being culturally black is having the black experience, appearing, looking black, being treated black, all of the above. Now, when you have some biracial people, let's be clear, white people see and know biracial people. Let me say that again. White people have a good idea who's mixed race. This is a common misconception about black people when they say this thing about a lot of mixed people. Well, they experience life being black. Pump your brakes.
They don't stop with that dumb shit.
Exactly, because here's the thing. There's a difference between when you know something, like you know it for a fact, or when you're questioning something. So us black folk, that it ain't no question that we're easily identifiably black, that's one thing. People who are mixed race may appear more racially ambiguous and things of that nature, especially in today's time. Because the truth of the matter is, more white people have opened up to having like biracial people or mixed people in their family. So a lot of them know the difference. They have eyes, they can see. You mean to tell me, and y'all know I love football, that white people can't tell the difference between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, fuck yeah, they can tell.
You mean to tell me white people don't know the damn difference between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes? They can't tell a difference at all.
How you gonna say Patrick Mahomes and Lamar? How you gonna say Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are both black? I mean, could you actually picture them coming from the same parents? Not unless one of them got different fathers and different mothers or something. That's the only way you can envision that.
Could you picture them having the same experience in life?
No, fuck no.
Could you experience them being treated the same in life? Could you? And see, people, this is another thing I want people, listen, y'all. Everything is not A or B. There could be A1, A2. It's places in the middle, right? I mean, this is not, we're talking about race, but everything literally, though, is not black or white. There's gray area, okay? So, let's say, for instance, in society, and I'm gonna use examples of a brother that looked like a Lamar Jackson, and then a Patrick Mahomes, right? So, Patrick Mahomes may not. I hate to give all these sports emphasis for my ladies who are not into football. I'm sorry, y'all.
Well, Love Wisdom just mentioned another one.
But
Love Wisdom just mentioned another one. Ben Simmons from the 76ers, Philadelphia 76ers, another biracial, not black. Joel Embiid is black, but not Ben Simmons. No, he's mixed.
But wait, okay, exactly. So wait a minute. Give me the what's the name of a white quarterback? Tom Brady, right? Now, I would like to use a younger one in their generation, but will you go with Tom Brady? Because most people know who that is.
Go with Baker Mayfield, bum ass.
Okay, so you have Baker Mayfield, the white boy. You got Patrick Mahomes in the middle, and then you got Lamar Jackson, right? So you got white mixed black. And each person embodies the visual of their race or that ethnicity, whatever. Because, it's a race, black and white, to me, biracial. Okay, so each person really kind of embodies that look for real. Now, I know there's variances on black people. Not every black person is as dark as Lamar Jackson and all that, but y'all get what I'm saying, the essence. So, Patrick Mahomes may not get treated like Tom Brady, okay? But Patrick Mahomes also is not going to get treated like Lamar Jackson. Okay? So do you understand what I mean? There are variances in between. So when people make that general statement that biracial people get treated as black, that's not necessarily true. They may not get treated as white, but that doesn't mean they get treated as black. There's areas in the middle. Just like white people may not treat a East Indian as white, but they may not treat them as black either. Okay? So we need to understand there's middle grounds here, y'all. So when people jump and love it, because they go through what we go through. No.
That ain't necessarily true.
No, that ain't necessarily true.
Most biracials aren't even raised in the hood. Let's just keep that a buck as well. Yeah. Most biracials are not raised in the hood. Most of them are raised in the burbs. Right? So and we all know experience in the burbs is different than experiences in the hood. You know, people in the burbs do not have to worry about going to the store and being slammed down to the concrete, face to the pavement in the middle of because you was at the wrong place at the wrong time and they thought you was selling something to somebody and you ain't did shit. You just so happened to be going to the store and was at the wrong place at the wrong time, so your face is up in the concrete too. Those motherfuckers don't experience that in the burbs. You know, they don't experience riding around and this, that, and third and getting fucked with getting fucked with by police and getting traffic stopped and motherfuckers going all in your trunk, pulling out everything out your fucking car, leaving everything on the fucking ground and pulling off like thank you, and then pulling off but leaving all that mess on the fucking ground for you to pick up and put it all fuck back in there and shit because they pissed off because they couldn't find nothing. Yeah, they ain't got to deal with that in the fucking bird. So I don't know, like so when motherfuckers
but you know something,
bullshit, they had the black experience. Oh, yeah. They might have felt some racism, maybe because you know they was in proximity around white people and everything. But these biracials that feel this racism, air quotations, and they become immune to this shit. I literally asked one of these biracials this a few weeks ago on a panel, and he was breaking down how shit was this, that, and the third with him and everything, and when he was out in the burbs, how I asked him, I was like, yo, is it like actually he wasn't biracial, this dude was black, but still, like just in reference to these motherfuckers get immune to this shit. That's why you hear these biracials, like they'll laugh that shit off. Motherfuckers, these white people say all these black jokes, everything else, they'll laugh that shit off because they heard it their whole life, right? So they're immune to that shit. You know, there's the little nigga baby running around and everything else, is that the third, but you know, they felt like they was a part of them. They wanted to desperately be a part of them, so they ended up being hateful about their black side. That's why you got a lot of these motherfuckers running around here talking crazy about black people. People call them coons. They really racist as fuck, but you know, y'all got these motherfuckers up here talking crazy. Listen, a lot of these motherfuckers on here who talk the craziest about black people have a white parent. That's not by accident. A lot of these motherfuckers, not all, but a lot. Pay attention.
Right. You know, and dang, I was gonna say something. I'm sorry. I totally.
Yeah, I'm about to drop the link. Go ahead.
It totally left my mind. But no. It's something you did. No. But the thing of the matter is that it's levels to this, and that's what we need to understand in the conversation about race. And let me say this because a lot of people, like I mentioned earlier about this whole label thing and stuff like that, people are like, man, forget these labels. We don't need labels and all of this kind of stuff, right? Here's the thing, black people. If we're going to have a real and true conversation about reparations, we have to have this conversation and we have to have an understanding and we have to move forward because it's going to have to be determined who is black. That will have to be determined if you are trying reparations. You have to know who's black. You have to have a cutoff for blackness. You have to understand, is it going to be percentages? What's going to be the deal? That has to be a question asked and with an answer. And with the technology that we have now that talks about DNA. Now you got the whole other people listening. I'm not doing the DNA thing. If you don't believe in DNA, that's good, that's fine, do your thing. But what I'm talking about is, I'm not saying that they know everything now to a science. I'm talking about the DNA as far as you're this percentage sub-Saharan Africa, okay? Now, here's the thing. Me and Psycho before have broken this down. Psycho did, we was breaking this down probably like 2 years ago. We was talking about this one day. And he had went while we was talking and pulled up the different DNA companies, and we got a consensus. And we lowballed it, okay? But we lowballed it to 70% sub-Saharan African. That is the cutoff point. 70% or better. Now we base that consensus as from the DNA companies based on what they say the average African American is, okay? So most of them, and these are the best companies, these are the top companies, these are the most trusted companies. Okay, so we had the higher figures, which there were more that had higher figures that were around the 80 percentile. Then we had, I think it was one company that lowballed it to in the 60 percentile. So what we did was, we said we're going to go with 70%. If you are 70% sub-Saharan African or better, then that's the cutoff for blackness. If you are less than that, then you are biracial. then you are mixed race. And I don't see a problem with that. You have to have a cutoff. Listen, when the people did the reparations with other people, you gotta prove who you are, what you are.
Thank
you gotta prove that. You can't just come in and I'm black. Cause my great Ronda Rousey go in there. I'm black. My great grandfather.
She one of them Hexter. She one of them. What they call it? Hextadrone or whatever the fuck. She one of those motherfuckers. She like 116 or some shit. She ain't even 1'8". She like 116.
She ain't even 1'8". She's about 116. My great.
Motherfuckers running around here trying to call her black because of it.
I need a check.
You had some weird old Negroes running around here trying to call her black because of it. This is how fucked up in the brain we are.
And let me show you something real quick. Let me show you how this flips real quick. In that video that Psycho played with the girl, and she said she's about a quarter black, right? And so she's about 75%.
Yeah,
white.
Quadrum.
Now flip that, because that's a lot of black folks percentage. So that means they white. So that means y'all white. That's 20 all black people that come up with 25% or the 20 percentile of European DNA, and you got 75% sub-Saharan African DNA. You are white.
Thank you. Yeah, what
you're
is
white.
that?
So you go out here and people say, yeah, sister.
That means Malcolm's white.
My black sister. What you mean? I'm white.
That means Malcolm's white. Malcolm's 1/4 white. Malcolm was 1/4 white.
So he was a white man.
He's white. Malcolm's white. Malcolm X is a white boy according to these fuckers' logic. According to these fuckers' logic, Malcolm X is a white boy because he's 25. He has 20. He's a quadroon in reverse. Right? He got one white grandparent. So that means he's white. That's what you motherfuckers go by. That weird ass logic.
And not even, and it's a lot of black people who don't have a direct white descendant, like that's a grandparent or whatever, but they still have like 20% European DNA through European admixture, because we all know the atrocities that happen. So they can be like, we'll say 77, 78% sub-Saharan African, and they 22% European. So that's a white person. They are now legitimately Caucasian. See, that makes no sense when you flip that dynamic over. Because guess what? Let me tell you something. Even if you went out here and you said, I may be 75% sub-Saharan African, but I'm 25% European, and I identify with my 25% European, like the girl was saying about her blackness, right? Let me tell you what's not gonna happen. You will not be seen, regarded, documented as, or accepted as white. White people are not going to accept you as a white person. I don't give a damn. If the police pull you over, they're gonna write down black. They ain't gonna write down, I'm a white woman. And guess what that officer gonna put? Black, African American on that paperwork. He ain't gonna put this up because you 25%. You 75% sub-Saharan African, but you 25% white. I am a white woman.
That's ridiculous.
Why is it that they can protect their whiteness and they ain't gonna say? Because if we went by that, all of us are white.
Right.
Damn near.
Right.
If we went by that, white people ain't going for that shit. So why are we accepting that for blackness?
It's silly. It's the dumbest logic ever. Like I said, the link's out there. Y'all don't. Right now it's cricket. Somebody, y'all was froggy. Dude was froggy a minute ago. He wanted to leap a minute ago. I guess he leaped his ass up out of here because he ain't here. But anyways, like I want to address this too because an interesting statement was made, and I totally agree with the statement. Last night I heard a question was asked, and it's a question I asked in the past, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna put it out there, and this is for the mixed people out there mainly. But it's also a question to the family, but it's directed to these mixed people. If I see we got somebody there, give me 1 second. If y'all mixed people have an issue with black people suddenly saying you are not black, my question is this to the mixed people. When are you going to step up and start fronting this whole movement of correcting your fellow mulattoes? Because I got a question to the family. Where are the mixed people that are clapping at these other mixed people that are saying they're not black, they're biracial? Where are the mixed people that are clapping at these motherfuckers? Who is the mixed person that is leading this movement? Who's the mixed person that's leading the movement to push back against some of their rhetoric about them being biracial and not being black? Even though I agree with that statement, if the mixed people have a problem with it, why are they coming after us and ignoring the motherfuckers who's making the claim? No, they will ignore. They will know why? Because they getting on code. Because they are on code. They ain't gonna clap on one they own. They ain't gonna go to one they own and say, "Yo, you fucking the game up. You pissing these motherfuckers off, man. They gonna stop calling us black." I don't see these mixed people in the forefront of that. Where are they at? Is my question. Who's leading that movement? Where's the mixed person that's leading that movement? Because everybody quiet when these biracials start talking that shit. You know why? Because, like I said, they are on code and they know what them biracials saying is correct. They just hope we keep on being ignorant and keep fighting against these motherfuckers and trying to convince them that they black. But they know they got that out. They know at any time, whenever they get tired of this shit, they can say, you know what? I'm tired of this black shit. I don't want to be black no more. Don't call me that. I'm biracial. They always got that back door they can creep out of. Right? So that's why they're not saying shit. But anyways, I digress. We got somebody, I don't know who this is. Who is this? Okay, it's Books for Moses. What's going on, Books for Moses? How are you?
What do you say, kid?
Yeah, peace. What's going on?
Yeah, what do you say, kid?
Well, I got an echo. What'd you say?
You have an echo for me?
Yeah, he had an echo. Oh, wait.
Okay, let's see.
I think it's gone. All right, what you saying, Buster Moses?
Okay.
You straight? All right. Buster Moses, you there? Okay, he might be trying to get his mic together. All right, let's let him get his mic together.
Hello?
I'm not sure where he's at with this, as far as like his position or whatever. But yeah. You got anything else you want to add, Renee? You want to chime in? I'm up here trying to get this stuff together.
Yeah, I was telling somebody in the chat, Kimberly or somebody, somebody named Kim or something. She said, "Who is that chick talking?" I said, "Honey, click the link." So if you still in the chat room, click the link and come up and see who the chick talking is. But that's all I gotta say.
Oh, I didn't see that. Give me one
and
second.
I'm already on one. I don't feel good. Yeah.
You're going through the motions over there.
Hello?
So,
okay, there you go. Buster Moses, yeah, we hear you. What's going on? Buster Moses, you is?
It's still an echo?
Okay, no echo. You good now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, what's good?
What you were saying, who the light-skinned champion or the mulatto champion or some silly shit like this?
No, I said who's the mulatto that's championing the movement to push back against the rhetoric of the mixed people when they say I'm not black, I'm biracial. Because that's a large movement and I don't see any mixed people pushing back on it. I just see more and more mixed people jumping the board. So if we're because we get painted as the evil empire, right? We get painted as the you know, as the bad guys. You know, we're the ones with the black hat trying to keep everybody away from blackness, right? But again, I keep having to remind people, these biracials actually started all this. They actually the ones who actually started making black people look at this a little bit different when they started rejecting their blackness, right? So then that made motherfuckers start really peeling back the onion on this whole one drop rule. And now motherfuckers is got their eyes open and motherfuckers is like, okay, we're gonna roll with you. You're correct. We're not gonna push back on you on this. Matter of fact, we're gonna help promote your message. But being that we're black and we're promoting this message, we're looked at as the bad people. Now, they're the ones who started it, but and so if people got a problem with it, they should be going after them first, right? They the ones who should be, you know, being checked or whatever. And I don't see any mixed people checking them. So I was asking, like, well, who's the person who's championing this movement? Where's the mixed person that got this channel or that makes all this content that's dedicated to correcting the mixed people that are saying they're not black, they're biracial?
Brother, you tripping. You trying to say that white people made light-skinned people feel superior, so light-skinned people made skinned people feel less. It's all about white people. White people is the end. I believe in the one drop rule. I believe if you got one black parent, you a nigga.
That's BS. That's BS emotions right there. First of all, I didn't say nothing. See, that's another thing we gotta eradicate. And I'm gonna bust all that shit up. And that's that biracial light-skin coalition. That biracial light-skin coalition, I'm busting all that shit up. I didn't say nothing about light-skin. I said biracials, right? Biracial and light-skin is two different things. Like Malcolm X was light-skinned, right? He wasn't biracial. His mother was biracial. He was light-skinned. There's a difference. Biracial, you have one black parent, one non-black parent. Light skin, you can have one white grandparent, one white great grandparent, whatever the case may be. But if one of your direct parents is not black, you are not light skinned. Like, we got to get that out of our head. We got to stop playing these like Ben Simmons is not light skinned. He is biracial. You know, like we just Patrick Mahomes. He is not light skinned. He's biracial. There's a difference. We got to separate that. That's the problem right there. Like it triggers me every time I hear people just say automatically call biracials light skin. No, they not. No, they not.
I think you playing into the car, but by you saying, you know, biracial and you saying light skin, you just separating everybody that might have a touch of white in them. And me saying if you got a touch of black in you, you are a family. Like you really against black people, and I'm really with. Like if you got one touch of black, you saying, well, no, it's separations to it. You the one separating.
How am I separating? What? How am I separating? You mean how? Separating how?
But what's wrong with?
Again, that's me. I take it that you're probably biracial. Are you biracial? Are you biracial?
No. I got two black parents. Huh?
Oh, you had two black parents. Okay. All right, but
so,
go ahead, Renee.
So, question: you said we're separating, okay? But we're already separated. We were born into this before any of us existed. There was racial classification, so there's already been separation. So, what's the problem with us claiming our blackness, identifying ourselves for ourselves? Because the one drop rule that you're going by and accepting, that was not instituted by black people. White people determined that for us. They did it so that they could keep their circles, their community, their race as white as possible. So why then is it wrong for us to remove a racist rule that was created and imposed on us in order for us to define our own blackness for who we are as being black people of two black parents? What's wrong with that?
I feel like you're separating yourself. I feel like if you have a white parent or a black parent or a white grandparent and, you know, two black parents, I feel like you're trying to separate. I feel like the one drop rule is all inclusive. only a racist wouldn't agree with the one drop. Only a racist would sit up here and say,
know
well,
where the
hey,
one drop
if
rule
you got
came
some
from?
nigga in
I
your
don't think
family,
you
you
heard
know
me.
somebody.
Did you just hear me?
No,
Did you hear what the one
you a
drop?
racist? Are you racist?
You really,
Did you
you
just hear
literally
what I
missed the
said?
beginning of the show. Did you miss the beginning of the show? Did you miss the beginning of the show? Hello? Did you miss the beginning of the show? Okay, I'm assuming you missed the beginning.
Yeah, I did.
Of the show. Okay, I'm assuming you missed the beginning of the show because you missed the beginning of the show. We explained where this whole
Yeah, I hear you, Psycho. Yeah, I did miss the beginning of the show.
Okay, all right, yeah, because we explained where this whole mindset came from. This whole mindset that you're carrying on, this didn't come. I didn't create this. You didn't. We didn't create this one drop rule. We didn't come to this country with no one drop rule. You understand that? Again, I'm gonna break it down again. I said it earlier, but I'm gonna say it again so you can understand. Because you think this is us being mean and shit. Let me explain something to you. Nowhere else outside this country subscribes to the one drop rule. You can't show me another group of black people outside this country that subscribes to the one drop rule. They all understand that mulattoes are mulattoes and black people are black people, right? They might not call it black, they might not use the term black, but the premise of us being black people, they understand that, and they understand that mulattoes are separate. And this goes to all black people from all different countries besides this one. And that's not by accident. That's because the white man in this country fed you the one drop rule. He fed it to our ancestors, and our ancestors passed it down generation by generation by generation by generation by generation until it became normalized. And now what I'm saying sounds asinine to you because cognitive dissonance is kicking in. But actually, it makes perfect sense because, like, I got to ask you a question. Like you said, biracials are light-skinned people. How come you're not calling them dark-skinned people? Why you not calling them dark-skinned white people? I could easily call them dark-skinned white people, but instead you choosing to call them light-skinned black people. But white people would never call them dark-skinned white. White people would never call them dark-skinned white people.
I didn't come up here to, make you feel like I think what you saying is ass like, and maybe I didn't listen to the beginning of the show, but at the time I still feel like y'all separating people, but it's still classism, bro. No matter how you try to break it down, this sounds like classism. And maybe I need to do some more research on this shit, but I'll succeed to that shit. You probably know more shit about me, and I'm embarrassing my goddamn self. I appreciate you letting me on this bitch, letting me just speak my ones and twos, homie. I'm a pup. I know shit. I know when when I'm beat, homie. Shit, I ain't gonna lie. I know when I'm beat.
It's all good. I ain't tripping, man. We had to have the conversation. That's all. What's going on, Rozzy? How you? I see you trying to come in.
Appreciate it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. How are you?
Do I have an echo? Am I good, bro?
You sound all right. You sound a little low, but you all right.
Am I good?
But yeah, you do got an echo. Bro. I don't know where that echo is coming from.
You got feedback. It's feedback. You got your YouTube on in the back. Yeah. Yeah. No comments whatsoever. Much.
Okay.
Have a nice day to your brother Moses or Books from whatever.
Yeah, I ain't tripping on
do some research.
Yeah, but definitely do some research on this, bruh, because I'm telling you, this is indoctrination. Every time, most of the time people push back on it and just accept it and fall. It's indoctrination. I know where it's coming from, right? Because at one point in time, I wasn't always like this. I was a one dropper too at one point in time in my life. One point in time in my life, I believed that BS too. I was fed that same shit that everybody else was fed. I was no different there. You know what I'm saying? But I at one point in time, I had to wake up off this shit and see what it really was. And, just had to come to terms with reality, and I had to, try to, reevaluate how this whole thing is actually looked at and framed and understand why it's like that, how it became that, and then I had to ask myself, why are we still keeping this shit going? Again, when you do the research on this, you really start finding yourself asking these type questions, and you start realizing it's all indoctrination. And then you just like, and then it gets to a point where you just gotta snap yourself out of it. Like, yo, I'm not following this shit no more. You know, I'm done. You know, so I know where y'all coming from. Like, I've been there. But you know, people gotta cut them ties off. Whatever emotional ties you have to that one drop rule, we gotta eventually let that shit go, man. Know what I mean? Is Rozzy there? Let me drop the link in the chat again.
Yo,
Rozzy, you there?
Yo, yeah, I was trying to get some headphones before I start talking.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
No doubt.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he did bring up a theme that we've commonly heard, which is separation. Is that we're separating people. And I just want to be very clear, or that we're dividing people. We're not separating anything that hasn't already been separated. Like I said before, we were all born into this. We were born into, you know, because people will say, you're doing this and you're doing that. We're dealing with the cards we were dealt, okay? And so we were born into racial classification. We were born into a white supremacist system. We were born into being descendants of those people enslaved on this land. We were born into these circumstances. So we are just dealing with what it is that's in existence. And if we're going to have any type of progression, like I said, especially if we're going to talk about reparations, we have to be able to distinguish what Blackness is. And it can't just be a club. That's something I want people to understand. Blackness is not a club. Blackness is a birthright. It is not something you can join. It is not something you can participate in. I mean, you can participate to a degree, but I don't like to phrase it like that. So it's not something you can participate in. It's something you are. It's who you are. It's what you are. It's your birthright. It is not something that is artificial. No. It is not something that can be artificially attained, okay? So even though I can't stand some people like a Clarence Thomas or someone who we know is a straight up and down coon, he is still a Black man.
Right.
He's still a Black man, and he's a Black man by birthright. Now, politically, you know, there's
white that. He's a white supremacist in blackface. That's what he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but he's still a Black man. Exactly. You know, so it's not a club, and you know that's how you're able to get people like Sean King and Rachel Dolezal and Paris Jackson and others whom have said, hey, I'm Black. That's how you're able to have, you know, the Black fishing going on and people accepting that. And people then saying, oh, those people are Black or whatever. It's because they look at it as like a club, something you can join and then something you can leave when you're ready to leave. And unfortunately, a lot of mixed people see Blackness that way. It's something that they can be a part of when they're ready to, and then it's something they can leave when they're ready to. You know, we're bound. The difference is we're bound by this.
Right.
We're bound by blood by this, by having a Black mama and a Black daddy.
Right.
Okay. We're bound by, ain't no room, ain't no wiggle room.
What they telling you is somebody who works part-time at your job and you working overtime at your job, that part-time person should get the same pay as you. Even though they work way less hours. They work like 20 hours a week. You worked about 60. And they should, but they should get paid the same check as you get paid. That's pretty much what they're saying. That's it, pretty much what they're saying. A part-timer should be getting paid the same amount of money as you, even though you work full-time.
Yo.
Yeah, peace. What's good, Roger?
Am I good now?
Yeah, you good.
Am I good now? Like,
yeah, you good.
Okay, all right.
What's the word?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, bro. I agree with y'all. What y'all was saying, man. You know, as a man with two Black parents, right? I got a Black mom, Black dad. I don't look at a biracial as the same as me. You feel me? they tell they different. You know what I mean? Like when they go to the family reunion, they see a bunch of Caucasians at the family reunion. When I go to the family reunion, I see a bunch of black folks.
Right.
You feel me? So
slide.
we can't. Right. So we can't act like we the same, man. Okay, we can't act like they're the same. Okay, now yeah, they mix with black folks. I understand, yeah, but yeah, it's still different. They should we accept them as but not as the same as us, man. I mean, they still are part of family, man. I still love them though. Still love them, but they just not the same as us, man.
They're just not black, man. Like people be thinking I'm saying like a lot of us have biracials in our family and shit like that, or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying cut off your family members or none of this other shit and anything else. That's your family, right? So I'm not saying you cut off your family as a part of your family. What I'm saying is they have to get cut off from the greater family, which is all of us, not your immediate family, but all of us. Like they got to be, when it comes to all of us, they on the outside looking in. And right. Yeah, it has to be a cutoff at some point. At some point, it has to be a cutoff, and the cutoff is with them.
Has to. Yeah, that's true, because it needs to be cut off.
White people got to cut off. Yeah, white people got to cut off. They cut off is one drop. That's the cutoff. You feel me? And so we need to cut off as well.
And
because a white.
Go ahead, Rozzy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because a white chick, she, you hear me? You hear me good?
Yeah, you good. You good.
Hello?
Yeah, you good. Can you hear?
Okay, all right. I was just making sure. Yeah, I can hear you good. I can hear you, bro. Yeah, so I was just about to say, man, a white chick. I don't believe a white chick can produce a black child. You know what I mean? I don't believe a white man can make a black baby. If we're gonna say that, that they can make black folks, then we might as well say, I'm not even supposed to say I don't need a black woman to make a black baby. Okay? It's to me, it's basically just common sense, man. It's common sense. We should,
it should be common sense, but all sense isn't common around here. Unfortunately, because again, indoctrination is a motherfucker, man. We talking centuries of indoctrination that we trying to break right now. It ain't easy.
That's what he just said is one of my common sense approaches to this thing, because what will happen is when you start talking about this topic, people get emotional and they start, going into all of these other things. But let me give y'all a couple tips. He just gave one of them. Let me give y'all a couple of quick and easy ways that you can shut people down, or not shut them down, but also to get people to understand in very elementary ways. If you have, like Robbie just said, that's one I say a lot, which is, when you say that mixed people are black, what you're saying is that a white person, or let's say a white woman and a black man, is the very same thing as a black man and black woman together. You're saying essentially there is no need for black men and black women to be together at all, because we can always create black children with anybody. And we know that's not true. So that's one, but this is a real elementary one. And then I'm gonna pass the mic, because I seen my wisdom came up. But this is another very elementary one that you can use, which is that if you take equal parts black paint and white paint, what color did you get? You don't get black, and you don't get white. You get gray. And gray is not white, and gray is not black. So some people have tried to argue with me on that. Well, gray is closer to black. I don't give a damn if you say gray is closer to black if you want. Gray is not black. If a man, for a man, if you're going to do a wedding and you have a black tuxedo and you are supposed to go get black dress shoes for your tuxedo for the wedding, and you go to the shoe store and you find the right dress shoe you want, you find the black dress shoe, you say, hey, or the dress shoe you want, and you say to the person, hey, I need these in a size 12 or whatever, black, right? And then the shoe person comes back with the shoe in the right size, the right style, but the shoe's gray. You mean to tell me you're gonna take that and buy that shoe, and you're gonna wear that gray shoe with your black suit because, hey, gray is the same thing as black, right? Or are you gonna say, no, I need this shoe in black for my tuxedo, right? So these are simple, elementary things that you can use to kind of, because they give people an illustration, you know, and that helps some people. And when I've told some people that, they've kind of been like, you know what? That makes sense. They can see it a little bit better. I pass the mic. Peace, love, wisdom. How you doing?
How you doing?
Can you say something real quick?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah, damn, I didn't. What I was gonna say, man. Nah, go ahead, man. I lost my train of thought, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Look, we got a lot of people running around here like that dude off of I'ma Get You Sucker who had the dashiki on talking all this shit about white people and then turn around. He had a whole biracial family out here and then want to try to raise these kids as black. The thing about it is this. If your parent is not black, you are a biracial. You're not black. I'm sorry. I don't know where we get this, where, well, you know, they got to drop a black in them. You know, they black. We can raise them in a black environment. Let me tell you something. That mayo is always going to come out. All right? We've seen it to where, you know, biracials use blackness when it's convenient. And the minute they can't get their way, you're all sorts of names. We've seen this time and time again. You can't be embarrassed about your blackness.
Right.
You can't. And we gotta get out of that notion where we wear black as an accessory. You know what I mean? You know, when it's trendy, when it's cool, we repping the black sis. We proud to be black. I'm loving my melanin. Black is beautiful. Black by demand. But then we're so quick to give it away. It was this whole situation with Tom Hanks' son. You got black people inviting him to cookout because he, you know, has a Caribbean accent. He said, nigga, oh my God, he's invited to the cookout. Nobody is going to respect the race of people that gives their blackness so freely, like it's an article of clothing.
Facts.
Like we cheapen blackness to be accepted by a society that's trying to be you. Whether it's tanning, whether it's through culture, whether it's through the cooking, they're trying to be you, but you're doing everything to deny your blackness unless they tell you it's okay to do. That's sickening. That's treacherous. You know what I mean? You can't. And also, family, don't let people guilt you, because this is another thing people like to do who, you know, believe in the one drop rule. We're somehow racist. Oh, y'all
right.
Y'all trying to separate people. No! Just because I'm proud of my blackness and I'm telling you,
Do you have any like sandwiches?
No.
You know, it's like, I'm telling the truth. I'm not disrespecting you because you're biracial. I want you to accept that you're biracial. You're not black. You don't have the same experiences. And how dare you call me a racist trying to separate? No, you have to make a separation. You have to make a distinction.
Right.
If you were born in Japan, they're not going to call you Japanese. They're going to say that you're black.
I just need to ask you a question.
Yes.
You know, like at some point, man, we got to make a decision on how important blackness is to us, and stop giving this shit away like it's cheap. Like, we got to stop doing that. And then we get mad. We get mad when the biracials say, "Well, I'm not black, I'm biracial." Or I was listening to a panel, and you had a biracial dude up there. This one called nigger juice. That sound racist than a motherfucker.
You talk about that Sunday Rumble? I'm joining that shit. Yeah.
It's like, do you really want to accept those people as being black when they sitting up here taking bits and pieces of blackness to make fun of you? Nigger juice and all of this. Like, is that who you really want to? Is that really who you want to be a part of blackness? Because remember, when you have a non-black parent, their personality is in that child. And 10 out of 10, they are taught the way of that race. So whatever they think about black people, it's going to show down the road. But you are, but they black. What do you mean? You can't teach them how to be black because clearly they saying nigger juice. That's some shit you'll hear backwards white person say, not somebody who's quote unquote mixed.
Right. I mean, they say all types of wild shit. I done heard these biracial, like I said, these biracial running around here talking this park ape shit, calling us apes and Blackistan and every little racist ass white supremacist term you could think about black people of the hood. They running around here spewing this shit. And people running around and they like, what you gonna do? Call me a coon? Ha 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 ha. Call me a coon. I don't care. No, I'm not gonna call you a coon. I wouldn't give you the privilege. I wouldn't give your half a cracker ass the privilege of calling you a fucking coon, because that would be me acknowledging you as a black man. Go fuck yourself, racist piece of shit.
Yeah, let me just say this, man. I just want to say this, bro. Okay, yeah, let me just say this. You know, the shit that I'm seeing here on social media is I don't know how to take this, man. Like, Lois, there's so many anti-black Negroes on here. Like, these motherfuckers ain't no different than white folks on here. You hear me? No different.
None.
Like, let me just say this. I don't even understand why Negroes will even want to mix with the dominant society. Anyway, all that bullshit they put us through, all that shit that they put our ancestors through, why would you want to go through that?
Stockholm syndrome, because it's like, you know, your first, for black people, the first person they were able to communicate with was white people forcefully in the United States. So our ancestors was forced to be around these people. And what happens is, over time, some of our people developed a little affection for these people. You know what I mean? You know, you've seen the racist cartoons, you've seen the racist little drawings, and it really done a mental and an emotional thing to us, to where we don't look at ourselves, let alone each other, as something valuable. Like, if it ain't white, it ain't right. You know, it's kind of like, I remember Bill Duke, the actor Bill Duke, he, you know, he was saying for him it got so bad that he decided not to have children, because he didn't want his children to experience what he had to go through as a dark-skinned black man in this country. So you have some of our brothers and sisters who would rather not have children rather than mix.
Yeah.
And then you have some of our people who believe, well, I don't want my child. I want to have a child, but I don't want them to grow up with what I had to grow up with. So if I can create a quote unquote exotic child, it won't be as bad. At least they don't have to deal with what I had to deal with. And I think that's the main reason why you have people in our race, they date out.
I hate that exotic shit.
Yeah.
I hate that exotic shit.
I hate that whole term.
But see, let me just say this though. Let me just say this. We're the most exotic looking people on the planet. We're the most unique looking people on the planet. We're exotic.
But we don't get deemed people. But we don't get deemed as that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear the word exotic, that's coded language for mulatto, right?
Right.
That's coded at least non-black, mainly mulattoes, right? Usually that means a female with some type of mixture, right? Some kind of like high admixture, right? Like one parent that's this, and the other parent that, and you got this blend, and now they exotic, right? Like, but I hate that whole fucking term because we only
racially ambiguous.
Right. We only use those racially ambiguous people.
They got the.
But yeah, man, I'm on budget. Go ahead.
But to Psycho's point, we are the most.
Yeah,
exotic.
but
I think Rozzy got a delay.
Two black people can make a child with green eyes. Two black people can make a child who have type 3 hair. Like, we are the only people on the planet who can have those different type of phenotypes. We are exotic by default. But we've been programmed to look at whiteness as some sort of they're like gods. And it's like, if I can't mix with a white person, it doesn't mean anything. It's the whole idea where, a white man validates my femininity or a white woman validates my masculinity. And it's like, the things that these people have said and done to us and continue to do today, I agree with Razzie. It baffles me. Why would you want to intermix with someone like that? I don't care if your ancestors didn't own slaves. The fact of the matter is you benefit off the shit. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. It's sick. And then you want us to, take in your mixed children and say, yeah, they black. No, they're not. You and your mixed children can go across the way.
Yeah. I don't understand the logic of people thinking any white person can make a black child. But that's literally what One Drop is believing.
Yeah, man.
They believe you can take a random white person and create a black child with this white person, and that's insane because you on reverse are also saying you cannot create a white baby. So you're saying this white person can create any race of people, and you can only create one. Like, so ultimately, aren't you putting them on a pedestal by saying that? Aren't you making the white man some kind of god that can create anything, and you only can create one thing? No, we all could only create one thing. Y'all just did mental gymnastics to convince yourself that we can create all types. Like, no, it's not like that, bro. No, we going to create black person. That's it. We create that in mulattoes. That's it. My bad. Nappy Yankee, what's going on? I see you joined the panel.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound going on.
Yeah, I saw this and everything. I just want to say something brief and peace to everybody on the panel. And, I think it's important to make these type of classifications. And I guess the internet kind of exposed a lot of these people trying to, get on to, try to be black when it's convenient, and yet when things get too hot they can move over to the other side. I think you made a great analogy with the part-time and overtime analogy, but I was mentioning there's this one YouTuber who he goes by biology. Like, this dude is like he attacks, and he's basically a big follower of Martin Delaney. who had that quote about, dealing with pure Africans and not, those corrupted by Europeans. And this dude goes after Malcolm X, Farrakhan. It just basically makes a distinction, and it's a pretty hard and strict distinction. At the same time, when you see people like Tom Hanks' son doing the shit that he's doing now, keep in mind, his parents are the most liberal people in Hollywood. So you got to start asking yourself where he got the chutzpah to do this, growing up in that household, and all of a sudden he's basically mocking us to our face. All right, but I think it's important to do this in that it relieves. It can. In a way, it kind of relieves a lot of the stress in that if we make a distinction of a person who's not African, we don't have to stress out when they do what we seem as coon as shit. Like, for example, this week, you probably heard of this little kid, this Republican kid called CJ Pearson. He's this guy, you've seen him, he's probably, I don't know if you know him, but, he's like this guy, like 10, 12 years old. I guess now he's 17, 18 or whatever. Republicans use him to start spouting Republican points. And he made a tweet saying, how come black people celebrate Martin Luther King when blacks tend to be the most racist? And then he said in that tweet, be proud to be white. And I'm sitting there like, why would you say some stupid shit like this? But I had to catch myself and say, wait a minute, dude, you ain't even black. So I can use all my energy and all of my fire against a dude, and dude ain't even black. And I think that if we make those type of distinctions, we don't have to, it'll alleviate a lot of stress and just kind of cut through the fat, if you know what I mean, and realize that some of these people, make a distinction and make a strict distinction, so we don't just invite anybody into the cookout, so to speak, which is another, I can't stand that term, inviting to the cookout. I mean, that shit is just dumb as hell to me. But yeah, that's basically making that distinction. Even though people will call us racist or what have you, I'm starting to realize the importance of doing that. Where you have the importance of making a distinction: who's black, who isn't, who we should direct our energies to, who we should just dismiss, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. Because like I gave the example, man. Like, it doesn't take much, man. It doesn't take much. And let me say this too. I forgot to mention this earlier. I think it's very. Somebody got some background noise. It's very. I think it's very selfish for some swirlers to sit up here and make the asinine claim. I already showed how it's a stupid claim. How you can, if I raise them black, then obviously they're gonna go out here and think they're black, and they're gonna automatically go procreate with a black person. I already gave examples of how that's foolish thinking. But just the fact that they feel like they can put all the heavy weightlifting on their mixed child to keep the lineage going by asking them to do something you wasn't willing to do, which is procreate with somebody black. I think that is so selfish on their end. Like, because you are literally putting the pressure on your biracial kid to keep the lineage going by doing something you yourself was not willing to fucking do, and that procreate somebody black. That's asinine thinking to me, and it's very selfish and narcissistic, to be honest with you. But go ahead. Who's trying to come in?
Facts. You're absolutely correct. Don't put any standards on anybody that you wouldn't put on yourself. So it's like, you're the one who believed blackness was somehow inferior for you to procreate outside of your race. And now you want your mixed child to be Shaka Zulu. Like that, make it make sense. Shouldn't you be the example of black pride and black love by marrying somebody that's black and having full-blooded black children? But see, this is what they do. They'll talk and another thing, how can you talk shit about black people, but then turn around and say, well, my mixed child is black? Wait a minute. You talking cash shit about black people, nigger juice and park apes and all that other good shit, But I'm gonna raise my mixed child to be black. So you're raising your child to have the same hate that you have for people that look like you that you ran away from. So are you not making mixed race children more fucked up than you are? This is why mixed children, unfortunately, they are extremely confused. They don't know who to side with because you got a parent that hated blackness so much that they're going to procreate out, oh, I'm a race to be black. Serena Williams said that, and I was like, Serena, how is that even possible that you're going to raise your daughter to be black? First of all, your white husband will not allow that.
Yep.
What are you talking about? Same thing for, black men with non-black women. That non-black woman is not going to allow you to raise that child to be black. No way in hell. They're not going to allow you to do that. You got with them. Like, make it
Let me
make
just
sense.
say this.
Go ahead, Rosie. You there? I don't know if he's there
Let me
now.
just say this. We need to start. Yeah, we just need to start being. We just need to start. Yeah, I'm right here, bro. Yo, you hear me?
You got a delay. I think you listening through the YouTube stream. I think that's what the problem is. I think you got the YouTube stream playing in the back and you listening to that. And that's why we got this like 2-minute delay. It's probably going to take you 2 minutes to hear that. Yeah, I believe that's what's going on though.
No, I hear you now. You hear me?
Yeah, you
hear
heard
me good?
2 minutes ago.
No, I didn't. No, I heard what you said. You mean now?
Rosie, you got a bad delay, brother.
Yeah, it's real bad. Rosie, try coming out and coming back in. Try coming out and coming back in.
Okay.
This is hard.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick statement. We mentioned there are some situations where, I don't know, I guess a person, like if you deal with a multiracial like a Steph Curry, or Steph Curry's, biracial. I can't. He'd more be multiracial. We classify him, I'm assuming, right? Steph Curry.
Yeah. Well, no. Well,
Okay.
it's a little tricky with him. I believe he's black. Maybe second generation biracial. I don't know. It's a little tricky, but yeah.
Yeah, it is, because look, and I just started thinking this just this past year, but if you ask Steph Curry directly, Steph Curry's gonna tell you he's black, okay, which is fine. I mean, dude, he has a resonant voice, and the afros. He'll tell you he's black, and his wife will probably tell you she's black, she's part Jamaican. But when you look at his kids, and dude is he's basically gonna grow. He's gonna live a rich man for the rest of his life. He's not gonna be hanging, around a lot of black people. Let's just keep it a buck. So when his kids get older, good chance his kids are gonna marry outside the race.
Very good chance.
Very good chance. When you see his kids right now, the very good chance his kids are gonna have white partners.
Right. The higher the social class, the less likely the biracial child is going to marry black.
Yeah, I mean his son looks, his son, all his kids look very, very light skinned. Good chance they're gonna marry outside the race. And I'm just curious about what his kids, and I'm not blaming them. I don't know what their mindset's gonna be, but they're gonna be like, if they marry a white person, they're like, yeah, but my father's black, my grandfather's black. It's just a weird dynamic where you can't blame them, but they're gonna see themselves as black, and it's gonna start a whole new generation of this thing going on. Okay, so I just, sometimes you can't, like Michael Jackson, I blame him because he purposely went out and either procreated or donated a seed to a white woman. So his kid now is like, hey, my father's Michael Jackson, but come on now, she's a white girl. All his kids are white. So it is a weird dynamic when you see these kids later on down the line, this is just going to be a process that's going to start all over again.
Yeah, I think it's peace, Snappy Yankee.
Peace, Renee.
But I think Michael Jackson. I just want to say real quick. I think Michael Jackson's children are not his.
No.
It was out there for a long time that his dentist, who's a white man, that his dentist is the one who actually fathered the children, and that the youngest one, Blanket, Blanket's mother supposedly is a biracial woman.
Good grief. You know that makes
the other two children are white. This was documented. Their father is white, who was his dentist, and their mom, I think, is that.
Wasn't the mother working with that dentist too?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that where he found? Because he was looking for a surrogate mother, and he found because I believe it was supposed to be his dentist secretary or some shit like that or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So that ended up being the dentist kid then.
Right.
You know.
And the only one that has a different mother. The only one that has a different mother is the last one, and her mother is biracial.
Guys, I gotta tell you, that makes Michael Jackson look much worse. That just makes him look worse. This is why I don't cape for Michael Jackson. You know, people are cape for this dude and everything. Listen, if you want to believe that this dude who admitted on camera that he jumps into bed with kids, that this dude doesn't have any funny business with kids, it's your business.
And he gave little kids alcohol. He was giving little kids alcohol too. He fessed up to that.
Yeah, I mean, people sitting here caping for this dude. You can believe what you want. This man was the epitome. He gave his soul to whiteness, and this I didn't even know. Okay, so this just makes him look worse. Another thing I want to just throw out there. Obviously, the media is going to put out certain people to speak for us to the forefront. Amanda Seales, all right? She's on the what's that show? The Talk, I guess. You know, she's now like the new member of the Talk. She's a person, multiracial, obviously, who seems to speak out or like on this woke shit. And I'm just curious, what do y'all, feel that you have her basically representing black people in a way, and they kind of push her out there to the forefront, like, this woman's black, she's speaking up for black people and what have you, when, obviously she's multiracial.
Well, that's I'm glad you brought that up, Yankee, because that's all a part of the plan. You dilute blackness and you let all these other people speak out. They did the same thing with Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick just grew his hair out into an afro and put the black fist in the air. Black people was falling over their feet, even though he played black people. You have Amanda Seales out, with her narcissistic, bipolar ass, quote unquote, being woke. They always put out a biracial to speak up for black people, as if black people, phenotypical black people, cannot speak up for themselves. And I do blame us to a degree, because what happens is, if you're not light enough, if you ain't mixed enough, you can't speak for us. Because when you do have actual black people speaking out on certain things, here comes the peanut gallery. Oh man, be quiet, man. Why you always pulling up the race car? It don't mean nothing. Amanda Seales, oh yeah, that is true. And don't let it be a white person that will speak up for some black issues. That's true. That they won't. So for us who speak the truth, we're gonna always get told be quiet. It ain't that serious. You put somebody light in the game saying the exact same thing we're talking about. Yes, that is absolutely true. So Amanda Seales, man, I get the feeling Amanda Seales is going to say something. It's going to come out, because that's what happens with biracials. That helmets always come out the jar. You can be Hershey's Kisses for so long, and that mayo gonna come out that jar, and that's what's gonna happen with Amanda. She gonna say some shit, and everybody gonna be like, "Oh my God, we're gonna cancel Amanda." No, but when we've been telling y'all, watch out for that hoe, we making a big deal.
A lot of multi and all. Who's the other girl? The newscaster that was she was fired from NBC. She got a new show. I don't know why her name's not coming to me right now.
You talking Melissa?
No.
Melissa Harris.
No, not her. She was on NBC. She got a new show now. She just got pregnant at 48.
Oh, Tamron Hall. Tamron Hall.
Well, she said. I mean, again, and she. I don't care who she marries or whatever. Just don't come out later saying that black men weren't chasing you, because black men love you. But she said something to the effect when she was with Roland that, listen, even though I know that black people love me, even though I'm with the white man right now. So I mean, yeah, she said that. So I mean, basically, people like this are pushed to the forefront, and they are the faces and the mouthpiece for what blacks think. And that is something that I do think is orchestrated by the media. Unfortunately, you're not going to see a quote unquote Martin Delaney type or someone that complexion really promoted as speaking for black people.
You're not. You can only speak for black people if you're in an interracial relationship. Like, it's accepted more. But if you're somebody like a Denzel Washington or Angela Bassett, even Will and Jada, as crazy as they are, like, if you're with another black person and you talk about black issues, it's kind of like a roll your eyes. It's kind of like, are you serious? What? Are you kidding me? But let somebody like Gary Owen and his wife speak out about it. Yes, that's true. We do have to talk about racism. We do have to come together. So there has always been anti-blackness, but I think like in this generation, because of social media, it's just going to a whole nother level. Like, even when it comes to a black man that will say, shouts out to black women just because. The first person come up in your chat is a white woman. What about all women? Like, if a black woman says, shout out to all black men, she's a pick-me or she's a mammy. So there's even anti-blackness within black people, But what's the girl's name? Oh God, forgot the mixed race, girl's name. It's one of those things where, we are the face of blackness. Like, even Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend, Nessa, he said he learned how to be pro-black through her. How in the fuck
She's not
can
even
an Arab who is a known invader, okay, how can they teach you about blackness? It's that type of thing that angers me, because we give away blackness so cheaply. Like, how is it that other people know more about blackness than us? Allegedly.
It's sad. It's sad.
It's sad, man.
And then especially when I hear white people talk about like checking other black people, like when they try to say certain people are black and then certain mulattoes are black, and white people are like, nah, actually they half black. They actually half white. And they do this as a wake up call to your ass, like motherfucker, like because they know the joke's on you, because you running around here thinking Obama's black. They say they know the joke's on you. Most of those motherfuckers, most of those people that hate Obama, people say people hate Obama because he's black. Not really, because those same motherfuckers who hate Obama actually know he's not black, and they have said they have said as much. They have literally screamed that for 8 years that Obama is not black. So how can you say they hate Obama because he's black when they don't even think he's black? They just don't like Obama because he's half black and he's lefty. That's why they don't like motherfuckers. But
they went even as deeper to say, man, he's not even American. His dad's Kenyan.
Right.
Like African, like he's he's a African. Like the stuff that they would say is like, how is it that white folks know?
These people ain't black. They know it, and they gonna remind you every time they feel like it. They gonna remind you that they not black.
Absolutely, but we sitting up here like, we can make black children. If that's the case, why does it take a generation to wipe out blackness if we can make black children? No. The quadroon and the octoroon, confusing shit. Those people are not black.
Right.
We got a whole bunch of cookies and cream motherfuckers running around here telling them they black. No, you're not.
If you got a rune attached to your name, ain't no way in hell you're gonna tell me you're black.
Thank you. Like, I respect biracials more if they say, you know what, I'm biracial. I had no problem with Zedenia when she said, I'm not black, I'm mixed. Black folks got mad. I said, why you mad?
It's the
She
truth.
said that she's mixed. It's the truth. Let mixed people be who they are. We got to be the ones to put a cap on. All right, you say you mixed, right? That's where you going to stay. You can't come over here, Drake and the gang. You can't come over here dibbling and dabbling in black culture when you get ready. And when it comes to making business deals and doing all this other stuff, you want to put that white side up. You either you in or you out. See, we got to be the ones to put that standard up. If you don't have any standards, anybody can say and do whatever they want to do to you, and we can't get mad. We got to be the ones to correct blackness and say, no, you're not black. And I'm glad on social media we're slowly starting to see that. Like, you slowly starting to see us calling out these biracials like, no, your ass is mixed and that's where the fuck you gonna be. No, we're not gonna take that disrespect. You're not gonna pull rank in the black community. No, and I'm so glad that that's happening because, like Renee said, you gotta put labels on something. You gotta put something down to determine what's black and what isn't. You have to.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to say, Psycho, a while back when Dak Prescott, when he was talking about, the flag and everything, and all of us did get a little offended. You called it at the time. You said, well, wait a minute, he's not black, he's mixed. And, dude had a white mother, and we were all like, yo, he's a coon, and it's like, why are you so offended? This dude is a mixed dude. You know, so he grew up with his mom. I think his mom raised him. I don't know if his dad was around or whatever. But yeah, I mean, dude took the stance and we were like, oh, how could he do this? Like, maybe his perspective is a little bit different. Maybe he's looking to do it through his mom's eyes or something, because, I think about it now. I'm like, wait a minute,
I'm telling you, it started with the millennials, right? It actually started with my generation, but it didn't really pick up steam into the millennials, right? The millennials, like people that was born in the 90s up to now, those biracials, I'm talking about the biracials, completely different mindset. They will come out and they are not scared to tell you they are not black. As a matter of fact, they promote it, they push it. This is what they want. This is the stance they're making. They don't like the whole being attached to the whole classification of black, and they're letting people know about it. Like, it's all over the place. I mean, like I said, they got the show called Mixed-ish. First it was Black-ish, which was still Mixed-ish to begin with, and then they extended on that with the Mixed-ish show. But that whole show is based on experiences of a biracial growing up. You understand? Like, why do you need to have a show about experience from biracials if biracials are black? Why isn't it being a black experience? But no, you got a mixed experience, because the mixed experience is different from the black experience. Hence, stop telling me everybody treated them as black. No, they didn't. Everybody didn't treat them as black. They got a different story. That's why they need these shows to tell their story. Yeah. Well, I see Big Game is up on here. What's good?
It's going to be interesting.
Can I be heard?
It's going to be I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll let you go. I just want to see if
what I was going to say, it's going to be interesting how they treat Dak in a couple of years if he doesn't start winning right now. Because, basically, they're gonna end up calling him out. And if they start throwing racial shots, it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts to what he says. If he doesn't start winning in a hurry. So I'm gonna keep an eye out on that. Go ahead.
Hello. Oh, I just wanted to ask a quick question real quick. So y'all know, because like a lot of times y'all be going by stuff that's kind of funny to me, but like y'all know, you guys know who George Macon is, right?
Yeah.
Now y'all would say he's 100% identifiably black, right? If you look at him, if you seen George Macon, you'll be like, hey, that's a black guy, right? Well, see, and this is what I'm talking about. George Macon took a DNA test, and he came back 65% African. So, like, you can't tell who is who, like, because a lot of people look.
Did he show his DNA test?
Yeah, he showed it. He talked about it on Sinetter before. But he talked about it on his channel too.
Did he show it? He showed the
He
result?
didn't show it. Why would he show it if he talked about it?
I mean, he could cover up he can cover up everything else, like, you know.
No, but I'm just saying. But he came out 65% African. That's what and noted and also remember.
And what else did he come back as? What else did he come back as? Because
it was like Asian and something else.
Time out, because I think that's disingenuous. Because I think he also he like got some Cuban in him too, or something like that.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is he came back like part Asian or something too. You know, whatever. But
Cubans also Cubans had slaves and everything else there as well. Like, you got a lot of black.
No,
Cubans
but
there.
the point I'm making is, you'll see him, and but freaking what's his name came back with the same, pretty much. I think actually more quote unquote African DNA.
I would like to see
our boy.
I'm a little surprised he took a DNA test, being that he's so against DNA.
I know. But he did. No, he took a DNA test. I wouldn't lie on George Macon.
I'm not saying he didn't say that. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying you're lying. Like, he didn't say that. I'm just surprised he took the DNA.
No, he don't rock with the DNA shit. He don't believe in it. I feel him on that.
That's why I'm a little surprised he took a DNA test. But okay, if you
I feel him on that. But see, the thing I'm saying is he came back with the same, or probably even less than what's my man name? Angel Ramirez Jordan. Angel Ramirez Jordan came about right around the same.
That's why I said I would like to see his
notice
DNA
they look totally different.
I'm willing to bet
they look like way different.
I'm willing to bet he's more than 65% African DNA. I'm willing to bet that.
Wait a minute.
I'm willing to put money on it.
Who came back as what?
I'm just saying. I was saying that that George and Angel Ramirez Jordan came back with about the same amount of quote unquote African DNA.
You ain't I can't believe that. I can't.
See what I'm saying?
I mean, like I said, that's
true.
why I asked you, did he show the results? And you said,
why
no,
would he show it? Like, why? Not what I'm saying is,
people do it all the time. Phil showed his results.
What I'm saying is he just talked about it. He was talking about it.
I'm just saying Phil showed his results. That's what I'm saying. Like, this don't even sound right, because I'm not saying George is 100. Like, just looking at George, just off lookism, I believe he's way more than 65%. Yeah, Renee, I got you. Yeah, I believe he's way more than 65% sub-Saharan African DNA just by looking at him. That's why I said I don't know. I don't want to get too much deep into that, because I ain't going.
But I was just saying. I'm just pointing out, like you can't really tell. Like sometimes you can. Like, you can tell a lot. Most of the time, I would say most, because like how. And another thing I gotta say is that Black people do not produce all colors for the most part. Like, y'all say that, but that's like some special dog breeding type. You gotta isolate something and then move it around. But if we being real, the average Black person is from brown to black with nappy hair. Like, Black people don't really have no different hair textures. They don't have no we don't have no blue eyes. The lightest, like, my eyes are somewhat light brown, and that's probably the lightest a Black person can get. And they're not even light brown. They just look. They don't look dark like most Black people eyes. They look brown.
Most Black people eyes are brown. Yeah.
Yeah, like, they don't look dark brown. They just look brown. And nah, man. Like, Black people know to be coming in these different shades, man. I don't know where y'all be getting that from. Cause it's kind of the same thing.
That's that one.
Well, we bullshit now.
No, I'm
not.
You
do have. I mean, you do have some Black people. It's a rarity, but it's a it's a macular condition where you can have a Black person with blue eyes that came out of it's Africa, but it's some sort of vision.
I mean, all old people get blue eyes though. If you ever look at an old Black person, they got blue eyes, but it's from probably some kind of, like you were about to say, some kind of macular degeneration or some kind of, some kind of stuff or something like. But they, like, if you look, because I remember my grandma, she had blue eyes, but she don't have blue eyes. But they just turn blue because of, whatever. Like, and I know it's a lot of Black people in general, a lot of old Black people have it. Like they'll their eyes will turn blue, but it's like dark blue. It's not like white people blue. And it's not because their eyes was blue when they was a kid. It's because you know, whatever. Like some even people who because some black people start out with blue eyes, but their eyes usually grow to be darker. Like one of my homies, you know, I think one of his grandparents is white though, but still, his eyes started out as blue. Actually, I don't think any of his grandparents are white. I think all his grandparents are black. But he say it, but it's just iffy with him. But he started out with blue eyes when he was a kid, and now his eyes are like almost like they like a little bit lighter than mine, but they not totally green or nothing. They just like brownish green. But yeah, like black people really don't be like, unless there's some kind of mixture, black people don't really be producing all this different type of stuff, man. Like I don't know where y'all be getting that from, man.
Listen, man. You acting like we run around here saying light skinned people aren't black. What light skinned person did we say wasn't black? We saying biracials aren't black.
No, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is even light skinned people, they really like would come out with the same type of, I said this before, they come out with the same type of like you really will never see a black family with light skinned people in it unless they got different parents and stuff, and the parents be all kind of mixed up. Like I never seen no damn people from the same two parents, one of them come out totally like how like the good times don't exist. Like you're not gonna get JJ and Michael. Like you might get JJ and Thelma, maybe.
Not from the same parent.
Maybe.
Well, it depends. Well, I can't say that. That's not true. If you got a light-skinned parent and a dark-skinned parent, you can get something like that. And maybe not the same phenotype. They phenotype wasn't even the same either. But if you're talking skin complexion, you can get that. Yeah, you can. That you can get. I've seen it. I know people. I know brothers and sisters. One's brown skin, the other one's light skin, whatever the case may be, because of the way the parents was and whatever the case. But yeah, so that happens. Now that happens. More times than not, they're gonna be close to the same skin complexion, but you do get some cases where one is lighter than the other. I thought Renee was trying to get in before. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, but for the most part, like I'm saying, most black people gonna be brown to black. Like,
yeah, I've been trying to say something. But...
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm not yelling over nobody. The thing about you were saying about George making that he the DNA or whatever in Angel Ramirez. Well, the thing about it is, you know, if he says that's true, then that's true, you know. I'm not going to be running around trying to, you know what I'm saying, delve into getting somebody's DNA records if they didn't show them or whatever. But that doesn't disprove anything. Like, there are exceptions to rules, but you never throw away the rule for the exception. So even if they have the same percentage of sub-Saharan African, even if that is the actual case, okay, and like that doesn't change the primary rule that most black people who are, you know, easily identifiably black, have two black parents, and most people who have a certain other phenotypical look, who tend to look more mixed, most of them typically are mixed. They may even have mixed parents or whatnot. So I don't think I understand you bringing that point forward, but that doesn't change. You know what I mean? That doesn't change the rule. Just because you have an exception, that does not change the rule.
And I'm sorry, I gotta just go ahead and say, I'm sorry, I got a hard time with somebody who's an open DNA, an advocate against DNA and any type of science that points to DNA, just popping up out of nowhere telling me that they got the same amount of sub-Saharan African DNA as Angel Ramirez Jordan. They didn't even show anything.
He was talking to Sinetta.
I know he was talking to Sinetta. I know. I'm not saying you wrong. I just have a hard time believing that test results, if he took them, came back as that. I just no.
No, because you know,
not when I know the averages. Not when I know the averages of the average black person in America, right? I'm the average black person in America. The lowest is like close to 70%, and the highest is like in the 80s and shit. Now you're gonna tell me that he took a test and he hit below the average, and he's not even light skinned. He's not even light skinned, dog. Adrian Ramirez Jordan got the same amount as him. Like I don't believe it, bro. I'm sorry. I just gotta go.
Like if y'all know who if you know who James Johnson is, right? Even though James Johnson, do you know who James? He played for the Miami Heat, or he played for the Miami Heat. I don't know if he played for him now, but
James Johnson, I don't remember him off the top of my head.
But anyway, if you Google this nigga, he the same color as me. But this nigga, I bet money if he took a DNA test, he'd come back 50% or like 60%. Because his mom is Samoan. I think his mom is Samoan. But you know, Samoan, they kind of, you know, they like
they Polynesian, yeah.
Yes, but the thing is, like, and then you look at it, like, let me give you, like, let's look at another thing. Like, we'll say, like, oh, is Russell, like, people will say Russell Wilson is black, you know? But if you look at Russell Wilson, and then you look at Tua look more black than Russell Wilson. So
this dude looks mixed. This dude looks kind of mixed, like a little bit.
Not
like,
really, dude. Don't play.
No, he does look kind of like because
he look less mixed than George Macon.
I'm not basing this off of skin color, like per se. Like he's dark or biracial, but his phenotype, but that skin complexion with the phenotype look like he could be mixed. I wouldn't know for certain. Looking at him, I wouldn't know for certain, but I would wonder. Well, at least the picture I'm looking at right here. Okay, I see another picture over here. He looks a little bit more black here. Depends on the picture. Like, it depends on what I'm looking at. This one, he looks biracial. It depends on what angle I'm looking at.
But the thing about it is that, you know, the whole lookership thing or looking, you know, that's not everything. So we're admitting to that, but that is a huge component. That's why I said you know, there's exceptions to every rule, but you don't throw away the rule for the exception. So I understand, like, people talk about Jordan, what's his name?
Jordan Peele.
Yeah, Jordan Peele. People bring him up or whatever, you know, because he tends to be a darker skinned biracial, you know. But there's a great comparison, because when you look at Key, what's his name? I can't think of his first name, but you know, Key and Peele. What's the dude's name? His partner, they did the show together.
Whatever his name is, Key. That's his last name. Yeah.
But you can see. So if I saw him, I'd be like, yeah, he's mixed. You feel me? He has a very much more distinctive, typical mixed look. If somebody told me that Jordan Peele was mixed, I'd be like, okay, I could see that. But I may not necessarily say, oh, okay.
Yeah, automatically assume it. You might wonder.
I actually think, okay, he looks mixed to me. So here's the thing, like, you can't dismiss that. You know, you cannot dismiss looks, because there is typically a certain look that is produced when you have a black person and a white person who have a child together. That can vary. It can go up and down. But look at somebody like a Matt Barnes. Look at Alicia Keys. Look at Quincy Jones's daughter. And I'm just pointing out celebrities because those are people we can all identify with. You look at a lot of the biracials of the world that are in music, that are in movies and stuff like that. And a lot of them, you see like, okay, I can see they're mixed. You know? So I'm not saying that's totally foolproof, but it's the rule. It's just the rule.
And real quick, I want to say that, see, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, Midtown Pookie said his dad was black with straight hair. Like, is your dad Big Papi? Like, and is Big Papi not mixed? Like, come on, dude. like, y'all crazy.
Oh my God. It's so crazy because in the black community, see, here's the thing, and this is a point I did want to discuss, because I saw on somebody's channel, earlier this week, I think, or maybe a week or two ago. I don't know. Whatever. I saw recently on somebody's channel, and they were saying like it was a panel, and they were saying like we are all mixed. You know, that's part of being African American or whatnot. Is we're all mixed, and I just want to really break that rhetoric down. You know, because that's complete BS. Okay, this whole we're all mixed thing. Now, in the ideal that we're not 100% sub-Saharan African, okay, so on a very basic level, all right, I'll give you that. But as we started off the show, and I was reading the whole thing about Quadroon, you will even see that in that aspect, they had different levels, different names, different classifications, depending on how mixed you were. Okay, so even in that respect, a mulatto was not the same thing as a octoroon. Okay, so in terms of our community, the Black community, people like myself, like Psycho, like others who have European admixture, historically, that is not the same thing as having a direct white parent. It is not on any level are those two things equivalent. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to say they are. And in fact, when you have like a historical admixture, the further back the DNA, the less significant genetically it becomes. So if you are someone who had white DNA going back into like the 1800s, which is the case for most of our families, that DNA becomes less significant each generation that's produced. So there's no way you can say somebody with a historical admixture can be the very same thing as somebody who directly came from a white woman's womb, who directly came from a white man's seed or whatever. You can't say that. It's not on any level or stretch of the imagination. And as I gave earlier in the show, the comparison, I would be willing to bet that Lamar Jackson has some percentage of European DNA. It may be like 9%, it may be 10%, it may be 7%, I don't know. Okay, but I'm willing to bet, because he's ADOS, I'm willing to bet he has some percentage of European DNA, right? But then you look at Patrick Mahomes, who is the direct descendant of a white woman. He literally came from the womb of a white woman. And you're going to tell me those two men are the same racially, thus they fall in the same category, they have the same experiences, they have a very similar phenotype? No, categorically, no. So I just want to break that down. And the crazy part about it is Black people in general know that. But to cover up for it, they will use terms like the guy who was up here earlier used, which is light skin, right? They really know that person is mixed and they know who they are, but they'll call that person light skin as if to encompass them in Blackness, as if to say, well, we share the same thing and the same lineage. But wait a minute, they mama white. That ain't your lineage. Your mama and your daddy are Black, easily identifiably Black people. Their mama is a straight up white woman. So how are y'all the same thing? Their lineage is German, and they have their German grandmother and grandparents and all the knowledge about where they come from in Germany. And you over here like scratching like most of us like, well, we don't know exactly what country in West Africa. We don't know exactly this, that, or the other. Mm-hmm. So how are you the same? It's not the same thing, people. We're not all this, we're all mixed argument. It doesn't.
That shit is weak. That is a weak excuse. That is a weak excuse to hold on to that slave tradition. That's what that is. They want to fight for that slave tradition, so they start talking that humanist talk. We all one race. We all got admixture and blah da 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 da. But guess what? Those white people got admixture too, but y'all still call them motherfuckers white. Y'all still know who the fuck is white, and y'all don't debate who the fuck is white or not. Y'all motherfuckers debate on who the fuck is black and shit. Y'all motherfuckers running around want to call everybody black, man. That shit is so fucking annoying, yo. Like, well, fuck it then. Like if you missed the beginning of the show, we showed an individual, a woman who clearly a Becky, quadroon, one black grandparent. And she's running around here calling herself mixed, saying she identifies with the black side and all this other shit, yada, 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 yada. And there's Negroes under there calling her black. This has to stop. It really has to stop. I gave example after example after example after example how the black gene gets squeezed out. At what point does the black gene not get squeezed out? Where's black cut off at? Nobody wants to make the cutoff. None of you one-droppers ever want to give me the fucking cutoff. Y'all say, y'all motherfuckers go there. We 1/16 black. Oh, they're black. They 130 second black. They black. They black. Like they had a black motherfucking grandparent back in motherfucking 1604. They're black. They're black. Like, this shit's ridiculous. Where the fuck is the cutoff? What is the cutoff with you one-droppers? It ain't at biracial. That's not the cutoff. Quadroon ain't the cutoff. Octoroon ain't the cutoff. Hey, like, where the fuck is the cutoff? Where is the cutoff? None of you fuckers ever give me the cutoff. Y'all just start falling back to y'all humanist rhetoric. Well, I just let anybody who identifies black just be black. If they identify everybody be black.
Ain't no way. You can't do that with no other group. I could not go to East Indian and tell them I'm the same thing they are. Do you think that's gonna fly? But wait a minute, I want to say something. We had somebody in the chat. Black ground. What is it? Let me go back up.
Oh, you talking? Matter of fact, he's right here. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Peace, Arthur. What's going on? Okay, he probably getting his mic and stuff together. Go ahead. You can finish talking, Renee.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta put the trucks up. Hold on. Let me put the trucks up. I'm gonna jump on 1 second.
All right, no doubt.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. But you can't go to any other group of people and do that. It just does not fly. Like I said earlier, it's a lot of black people that's 25% white.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be white. You think they can be white? Because they got 25% of European blood. That's a bunch of us.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, hello. That was the whole premise of the one drop rule, was to say you can't be white.
Preserving their whiteness. That's what the one drop rule ultimately is about, preserving whiteness. So if you are maintaining the one drop rule, you are in turn preserving their whiteness. That's what you're doing. You're saying black blood is tainted. Black DNA is tainted.
All right, I'm in. Good evening to everybody on the panel.
Peace, Arthur.
Okay, listen, right? I understand. As I listen to y'all, get a better understanding of where you guys are coming from and what position you stand when it comes to gene. The thing I'm saying is this: when I say this, right? I come from a family where the shades are varied. I have an aunt who's hot, who's pale, almost pale, light skin with blue eyes and stringy hair. I have a brother who's black as midnight, dark as whatever, with long stringy hair, right? So for me, I always look at my family and I say, okay, I know that my aunt's light skin come from my great grandparents' whiteness. I know my brother's dark skinness come from my grandfather's blackness, right? And it doesn't change whether or not my forefathers are white or black, because I know I got white great grandparents. I've met them before. I've seen them when I was a little kid, right? So it doesn't change that I'm black. I know I'm black. Everything about me is black. I look at my mama, she black. All my uncles, aunts, but they come from white people. They literally have a grandparent who's a white man. So
Yeah,
I'm
Malcolm
just
X had a
confused
grandparent
on how
that
we
was-
don't understand the dominance of the black gene and see that if black touches it, it becomes black. It no longer denotes blackness. Now the young lady that y'all showed earlier, she ought to be ashamed of herself, because like you said, Psycho, it's been watered down for her. She no longer has any true cultural or racial connection to the race. She's just doing it for clout. She's clowning us, actually. So I mean, but I understand what y'all saying. Me personally, I just think it's the dominant gene thing. I don't necessarily think it's derivatives, but I think it's the dominant gene thing.
See, okay, so I just want to say this to you. Like when you were talking about your family, your aunt and your brother and everything like that. See, looking, like we were talking about lookership and stuff. Looking is not that's just one part of the equation. There's a whole other bigger piece to the equation. And that piece is, who was your mama and daddy? Do you have a black mother and a black father? And if you are, then you are considered black. We're not making the statement that light-skinned people are not black. We're making the statement that biracial people are not black. People who are the direct descendants of those people non-black, having just one black parent and then one other racial parent. That's what we're talking about. And sometimes it gets kind of conflated and it gets kind of confusing for some people because
I wasn't trying. I'm sorry, good. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to conflate it.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, good. My bad.
No, go ahead.
I wasn't trying to conflate it. I was just saying that my aunt, the reason why I brought up my family is because I was saying that my mother's, her brothers and sisters are one grandparent removed from whiteness. Like they may have two black parents, but one of their parents has a white parent. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. But my grandfather, my grandmother, she married a black. She married a black man, which is my grandfather, Lonnie. But her father, Washington Lyles, is a white man.
Now, see, okay, so you're saying your aunt's father is white, or her grandfather?
My grandmother's father is white.
His great grandfather. His great grandfather.
Okay, so then it would be your aunt's grandfather was white.
Yes.
Okay.
My mother's right. Okay, well, my mother's grandfather's white. Should I say? I'm sorry.
Okay, your mother. Okay. So my thing with that, what I would say now, if we are talking, I read the thing at the beginning. If we were talking historically, then they will be considered. They would be considered
something like that.
No, they wouldn't be considered that because they have more black than white.
Right. Okay.
So versus having more white than black. Okay. So the premise that me and Psycho usually do is like, are 3 out of 4 grandparents black? And that's because, even though a lot of people think we're like super, super, super duper strict, we're really not that strict per se, because like people a lot of times bring up Malcolm X, who has the same kind of mix that you're talking about in your family.
Right.
And we consider him to be a black man, not because of his contributions, because if he had a white mother, I would have no problem calling him biracial. But because we would consider him to be more black than he is white, and because we typically go by a standard of about 70 percentile sub-Saharan African being black. So your brother, your aunt, to me, I would consider them black women. Okay, now they may be light-skinned black women, but I wouldn't say that they were biracial per se. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I clearly understand what you're saying.
You
denote for you, it changes once your intimate parent, one of your intimate parents is of another race.
Yeah.
But if you have like a grandparent, but if you have 3 grandparents and 1 white person, you still take the 75% of what they're.
Yeah, I'll still take that, and I take that because of the European admixture historically, that we've had, by way of what's happened to our people. So that's why I look at it in that. Because see, a lot of people over the years, I've made this argument for years, y'all. And Taz, a lot of y'all know Taz. Taz can tell you, I've known Taz for a long time. And he can tell you years ago, before any YouTube, none of this stuff was going on. Me and him had it out about this. So I've been on this for a very, very long time. But one of the arguments that people have made over the years has been, oh, well, nobody's 100% black. But I'm not making a 100% argument. You know, we're not saying we're 100% person here now. You feel me? We're going based upon what happens to our people, what our particular situation is genetically. I know that I may be less African than somebody who's born on a continent who didn't go through, you know what I'm saying, what my ancestors did. So I understand.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. See, for me, I guess like having conversations like this, I'm not gonna say that my position is like staunch, because I'm not a staunch. I don't hold really too many staunch positions on anything. Like, and I know my perspective can evolve. I guess for me, I just have so many personal life tentacles where like I don't want to be personal, but even with my children, like their mother is Haitian and Puerto Rican, right? My kids is black. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter, you know, if you see a picture of them, they look Hispanic, but my daughters are black, right? Most people think I'm Hispanic. When they see me, they like they start talking to me. I'm like, nah, I'm a brother. I'm a black dude. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just a little more personal. So I kind of I just look at my blackness, and if a person I have a baby with, if she happens to be a non-black person, that child's gonna be black. I'm not gonna let society tell him he's different or anybody else, because I'm
now. Why would you? But why? Oh, okay, let's get into that real quick though, because you said that. Do you have some feedback or anything? It's like I think it's like some clicking, but let's get into that real quick though, because you were saying how black is dominant, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing though, that's not necessarily true. And I'm gonna show you how it's not necessarily true. If black being dominant were really, you know, that was really what there was, you wouldn't have had so many people be able to be white passing.
Well, that was a social thing. They wanted to be white socially, right? So
no, but they look their appearance. Because when people talk about black being dominant, you're talking about phenotype, right?
I understand what you're saying, but they took advantage of a social acceptance, right? They looked at their skin color and they said, okay, I know I'm black, but I know I can pass, and I'm going to use this for social, to ascend social, right? They used it for social ascension, but they knew they were black. It's a New York Times reporter named Anatole something. He was a big time reporter, and he passed through life as a white person, right? And he had kids with a white lady, and when his kids found out that they were black, they had to go through all this. And now, if you look online, they tell these stories about, you know, it was hard to accept.
But wait a minute. Why did they have to? Okay, because the black is dominant, right? So why did the kids have to find out that they were black?
Because he didn't tell them.
Why do you need to find out you're black?
He always told them they were white.
That's something you already know.
No, but the father told him that they were white. He never told him. He never told his kids. He was black. He didn't have two white parents. He was a black man with two black parents. They was
that's what I'm saying though. How do you have to find out you're black? None of us that are, you know, that are easily identifiable, like we got a black mom and daddy, we didn't have to find out we're black because we are black.
Because our features and our melanin are more pronounced, right?
Right.
But that doesn't change that.
But to be white, are you black?
But
if you can be a white person, are you a black person?
But that was the point that I made in my beginning statement, Renee. Like, if you see my aunt, you would think my aunt was a mixed person. You would instantly think she was biracial, and she has two black parents. So if you look at somebody, you see phenotypes and you see features, eye colors and features.
But she didn't have two black parents. She had a black parent and a biracial parent, right?
Who, my aunt? Yeah, right. She did, right. But she's a black woman. Her mom has two white. Her mom has one mixed parent, but her father had two black parents. Well, one native parent, one black parent. Because my grandfather is native and black.
Yeah, if you got three black grandparents, you're black.
Hello?
Hey, if you got good hair, you're not black.
I don't know what good hair is. Our hair is good hair.
What is that?
Well, I
You
know
got
when I
hair,
say
you
good
got
hair, I'm
good
gonna
hair.
say the
But
texture.
anyway,
When I say good hair, I don't want to desecrate, the coarse
No,
hair,
no, I
right?
didn't say no,
All
but
I'm just saying
I
the
didn't say you
texture of
had.
her
I
hair
didn't say you said
is
that. I
not.
was just saying.
It's straight. You know what I'm saying? It's straight. That's all I'm saying.
No,
I'm not
I'm just
trying to
saying
say
he didn't
I'm
say
not
good
one
hair.
of those people, good hair, bad hair.
no. I
Yeah,
wasn't
he didn't say
responding.
that. I was just saying that. I was just saying that. Even though I was
I was
joking,
spotting the
I'm
OJ.
being serious
Yeah, I was
though.
spotting the OJ.
I'm being partly serious though. If you don't have no 4C textured nappy black Negro hair, then you need to look at yourself in the mirror and maybe you might be something else.
See, and that's what I'm saying. My brother is black
I
as
don't
hell,
know.
and he got jet
But
curly hair. My
but
brother's
wait a
black
minute.
as hell, and he got curly hair. He had long curly hair.
But let's go back though. Let's go back. So here's the thing. So what I'm saying to you is, if someone has to find out they're black, they're not black.
But they had to find out because the idea of them being black was hidden from them because the father didn't want to be black. He didn't want to live his. Hold on, let me finish, please, sis. He didn't want to live his life as a black man, so he perpetrated himself as a white man. So he raised these two kids as white people. So they went through life as white people. And then when somebody exposed him, some woman exposed him because he was a philanderer. So when she exposed him, it got out. So then his kids had to find out by him being exposed. So it was a shock to their system that who they thought they were and who they was raised up to be may not be totally true, and it may be a part of them that they're not aware of. And they brought it, and it was just hard for them to accept that they didn't know. Well, the daughter was more accepting of it than the son. The son didn't even want to do the interview or nothing, but the daughter was open to it.
But see, you're actually making my point for me about black being so dominant. Because dominance, when people talk about black being dominant, they're talking about phenotypes. They're talking about the characteristics that are typically consistent with being black, meaning melanated
not
skin.
in all aspects.
Let me say this real quick. Let me just say this real quick. Melanated skin, or more richly melanated skin, kinky hair texture, or kinkier hair texture. Certain features, sometimes lips, nose, things of that nature, okay? So that's what people are speaking of when they say black being dominant. You're talking about phenotypes. So if within these people...
I'm personally not talking about phenotypes.
Real quick, just let me finish real quick. So if you're talking about that within these people, that dominance is not there, that's actually...
I'm not talking about phenotypes.
That black is not as dominant as people think. And also, if you have to find out you're black, or you can make the choice in the world as whether you're going to be considered black or not, then you're not black.
No, that's not true. That doesn't denote. If you make a social choice based on some physical ambiguity that you possess, but you know consciously within yourself who you are, and you make a social choice to be something else, that's a social choice. That's not.
So why does a psycho have the ability to decide if he's socially going to be recognized in the world as a black man or as a white man?
He does have the choice. He has the choice to be the. Listen. You can laugh. You have the choice to be anything that you want to be. No one can tell you who you are. I mean, society can judge you and put labels on you, but no one can tell you. No one can change who you are. No one can change your autonomy. So if you want to be a white person and you black as hell, or you want to be a black person, that's your choice. Now you're going to have to deal with the reality that you make. Hold on, sis, please let me finish. You may have to make that, going to have to deal with that reality that the choice you're making is a false choice, because if you have a dark melon, you're not a white person, you're a black person. So to choose not to be black is not saying that you're not black, it's just a choice that you made. That doesn't change your blackness. And as far as the dominant thing, I'm not speaking on phenotype. I'm speaking on the genetic code. I'm speaking on natural facts. Natural facts that the black gene code is the strongest genetic code in the human
Brother,
every living human being that exists came from a black person, a black individual. Every living
thing. If that's the case, why are you making any distinctions about who's white?
I'm not making any distinctions about who's white. How am I making the distinction about who's white?
You
Yeah,
are
so
right
is
now.
everybody black? So is everybody black because everybody has some African DNA in them. Just everybody
Right,
has.
right. But the,
So,
it's the
so
like
is everybody black?
Psycho, you put me on the summertime. Remember me and you was having we was having this conversation back in the summertime, and you was like, "Well, Art, check it out, bro. I hear what you're saying, but what if the person has 20% Swedish and 30% this, and then they only got 33% black?" And I was trying to say to you is the ethnic breakdown, like if they're Italian or if they're Italian or Jewish or something like that, that's an ethnic breakdown, right? But that's still, when you break that down, that's another sector. So the 33% is still the dominant sector. The 33% blackness is still the dominant sector. You just have other ethnicities that now add to the admixture.
Racially, they're white though. Racially,
they're still white. Racially, they might be
right. Racially, they may have
Eurocentric whiteness, but they still white.
Ethnicities as well.
They're still white though. You can have a white person from Germany and a white person from Sweden. They're both white.
Right. No, but
racially, they're both white.
Racially, but it's still broken down. It's still a broken. It's still disconnected. The black gene is still the dominant one. Those two things are separate entities. You may say it's a Eurocentric trait, but it's separate. They're white by Eurocentric traits, but it's still separate. The African gene is still the dominant one. It hasn't been spliced.
Brother, let me. You want to talk about science and genetics, okay? So let's do that.
We can talk about genetics. Let's do it.
All right. So no matter what, you get 50% of your DNA from your father, and you get 50% of your DNA from your mother. You get 23 chromosomes from your father and 23 chromosomes from your mother. You don't get more DNA from your black father than you do from your white mother.
But the things that you're talking about, make up physical traits and behaviors. It don't make up your race.
Right. Physical traits, right? Phenotype.
Right. So if your mom got a big nose, that's what I just said. Right, but that's not your race. That's physical traits. That's your nose, your eyes, your hair, your feet.
That makes up your race, though. That makes up your race, though.
That's consistent with your racial makeup. That's how race is determined, because there are certain specific traits that are consistent with that race. If you see somebody of the Asian race, it's certain things consistent. The eye, the hair texture, the hair color, certain genetic abnormalities or diseases that may be consistent with people of Asian descent. The stature, they're going to be things that they may be more susceptible to or affected by. There are going to be certain things that come specifically with being of a race, certain traits that are consistent. That doesn't mean every single last person will, like if you look at Asian, you have Cambodians or Filipinos who tend to have a darker complexion than people who are Japanese or Chinese or whatnot.
But that's based on them. That's based on geographic location. That's what that's based on.
Right.
Let me just say this. The physical attributes that we're talking about, right? They came from the geographical location of these ethnic groups and racial groups that we're talking about, right? So when these two groups, so when you have a black person meet with an Asian person or whatever, so you're gonna start seeing those physical characteristics come out, right? So you'll probably see the half-breed with Asian eyes, but she'll have darker tinted skin, right? I know a lot of mixed people who are darker than me, and I'm full black.
Let me ask you a question.
Right? I don't have no mixed parents, but they're melanin darker than mine.
Let me ask you a question. You know who Lamar Jackson is?
Yes, I know who Lamar Jackson is. Yes, I do.
Okay, would you think he's Asian?
No, he's black.
I'm saying if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, there's an Asian dude.
No, I would see a black dude.
How would you think he's Asian? What would make you
look Asian? Because he doesn't have any phenotypes or any demonstrative facial characteristics that would denote he's Asian.
Oh, okay. So then how can you tell me that, the people that you were talking about, I think part of your family or something you were talking about, who they had to be told they were black? How can you tell me then you are black?
Excuse me? Say it again.
How can you then tell me those people who had to be told they were black are black? If you can tell me Lamar
because she
action is
was.
not
I'm about to tell you
aging.
why. I'm about to tell you why.
The physical trait.
Because
Also, you can't think that when it comes to blackness, that if these people had to be told they're black, they're not black.
Because you're asking me to see an African phenotype and then judge him based on your Asian look. But he has African phenotypes totally, right? Now, as far as what I was telling you about Anatole, can I finish, please? As far as I was telling you about Anatole, what's her name, right? His daughter is light skinned. She's fair skinned, very high fair skin with long, like kinky curly hair, right? So if you look at her up first, you're not gonna think that she's black, right? But because her father had fair skin, he was a Creole, so his whole look was white. His whole look was Eurocentric, right? Because of his forefathers. So when that mixed with the white person, those Eurocentric features came up. It doesn't change that she had a black parent. It doesn't change that. Because she has Eurocentric features. She has a black parent. And those features are made because of the evolution of the group that her forefather came from.
Right, because she's got a black parent, meaning singular, meaning one.
Right, she doesn't have a singular black parent. She has one singular black parent and one white parent.
Okay, and guess what? It takes two. Everybody knows this. It takes two. You gotta have a mama and a daddy to make a child. So you can't take the race of one parent because you're not made by one parent. You're made by two. But we have to have enough. Genetic makeup.
But we have to have enough intellectual honesty to understand nature, understand genetics, to understand that the black gene is the dominant gene, and we have to deal with that. That's the truth. That's a fact. Can't nobody change that. Let me finish.
Okay, I got two questions.
Hold on. Let me finish real quick. Let me finish real quick. So we can't change that fact, right? That's nature. That's science. That's proven fact. We can prove that the human chain comes from black people, right? Everybody else is a derivative of an original black humanoid. We can't change that fact, and that's what we have to deal with. See, we're taking it now to social structures and labels that we get in the different geographical locations that we live. But at the end of the day, if we look at the natural science of it all, the black genetic code is the dominant genetic code in the humanoid. That when that genetic blackness meets anything else, that thing becomes the blackness. It doesn't become. We don't become Asian. That Asian becomes black. Two Asians can't produce a black-looking person, but two black people can produce an Asian-looking person. Two black people can produce a white-looking person, right? Because that dominance of the genetic code.
I'm not really going. I really don't even want to go down all that road because it's a lot of things you say. No disrespect, that are just incorrect. They're just incorrect scientifically. But
what's incorrect scientifically?
All of that stuff you were saying.
How is it incorrect scientifically? Every Homo sapien that live right now comes from a genetically black person. A person
So then Lamar Jackson is Asian, right? Or because Asians are not
Asian. No, he's not Asian because his genetic markers give strong lineage to African phenotypes.
I got a better question. I got a better question. Baker Mayfield's black.
Hey, Psycho, man, you can't beat me up, man. No, don't beat me up.
Baker Mayfield must be black then, right?
No, Baker Mayfield is not black. He has two white parents.
But everybody
he has black DNA. But he has black DNA in him.
But he has black. It's diluted, Psycho. Come on, bro. You know it's diluted.
Now we getting somewhere. At what point does it become so diluted? At what point does it become so diluted that he's no longer black? At what point did that happen?
Where you had me at that day, where you cornered me that day. Remember when you cornered me in the question?
Yeah.
And I had no answer. When you gave me one person with two different ethnic groups, and then you was like, now if you combine the numbers of ethnic group, their ethnic group is a more majority than the black one. Remember you had, and I was like, I can't say on that one.
Right.
That's why for me, if I use your measure, that's where it ends for me.
You just gotta have more. So 51. So let's play with the DNA thing. So like 51% African is black to you. 51%.
Yes, sir.
And what about 49?
Yes, sir.
49 is still.
It's depending on what the other ethnicities looking like. If it's they 10% Morocco and 20% something like that, I'm leaning towards blackness, because once you start getting in that part of Asia, they have some blackness in them, so you'll find a high trace of African DNA in them. So if it's like 33% Irish and 27% German and 6% Yugoslavian, I'm hit. Y'all got me. I'm corners. Nothing I can do. But if it's 49% black and 12% Irish, and they black to me. They black because the majority of their DNA makeup is black.
Well, 49% is not a majority. But
No,
I just want to tell you this. Okay, but I just want to tell you this too, though. You do know, if you're going to say mixed people are black, you do know that most black people have some European admixture already.
Yes,
so if
you're
they
right.
have a baby with a white person, it's more than likely that child will actually have more European DNA than they do sub-Saharan African DNA.
That's true. That's true. There's some instances of that.
Mother, if you have a white father and a black mother who is African American, okay, and she has European admixture, in her background. If they get together and these are your direct parents, it may or may not, but it may be the case that you end up having more European DNA in the cases of Tia and Samara, the twins, Tia and Samara. They're 49%. They're 49% sub-Saharan African and 51% European.
Right,
so
that's what
they
Psycho had hit me with. That was the example Psycho had gave me, and I was just asking, what was the breakdown of their 51% Eurocentric? Like, did the mother, like, where did it come? Where's that other percent come from? It must be is it the admixture from the mom? Did the mom Eurocentric DNA as an ADOS? Did her DNA add to that and make the 51%? You know what I'm saying?
But that's not really a valid argument, because
how is it not?
Because we're talking about racial makeup.
But y'all said that, all right, but this is what y'all said. Now I'm using y'all words against you, Miss Renee. Y'all said that the parents get 50-50, right?
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So if we get 50-50, there is no way they could have got 51% from the father if it's 50-50.
No, the other part of the DNA is from their mother. Their mother is African American, and most of us have some level of European admixture. So she passed that on in her DNA, which combined with the father's European DNA, which is 50% of the DNA, in order to make them 49% sub-Saharan African and 51% European.
All right, but can y'all check this out, right? But if we look at that, right? And y'all even said it yourself, we both know that the father didn't get 51%. So whatever tipped that over to 51% has to come from the mother's admixture. So that doesn't make them necessarily white, because the father he's not the dominant. It's because the mother had admixture. The black woman had the Eurocentric blood. So that doesn't score the points for them. That doesn't score the points for the father. Because
I wouldn't view somebody with 51% either. I would view them as biracial. They would be neither.
Right. I guess. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I gotta have these conversations with y'all, because I think my idea on this gotta evolve, and I gotta take in more of what y'all saying. Not to, like I said, not to get me off my square, but just to kind of understand what y'all saying, because I can give validity to you guys' argument as far as the 50% and the just using the term biracial and not using the term black. That's what I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I got one question. I'm done, but I got one question. And the Psycho was saying it, but I was going to get to it. I don't know if you didn't really, but you were saying like about your family who they had to be told that they were white, or excuse me, they had to be told that they were black. Like, what would you consider it, since they had to be told they were black, meaning that they looked so white, people thought they were white. My question to you would be, where's the cutoff for blackness? Is there a cutoff at all? Like, where do you see the cutoff being, where somebody goes from being black to now that's a white person?
I see the cutoff when, say for instance, a mixed person, as y'all would say, or a biracial person, y'all would say, marry a white person, right? And they have a kid, right? Once if that kid marries a white person, for me, the blackness is gone. And like, we can see this in everyday things. Like Queen Sophia, the Queen of England right now, right? Her great-great-great-grandmother was a black woman, a black woman named Queen Sophia Charlotte of Mecklenburg. If you look that up on Google and you see the picture, you're going to see that's a black woman. Yes, she may have a white parent, a black mom, and a white father, but that's a black woman. And that's the modern day
Meghan Markle was the
monarchy.
first biracial.
That's who they come from.
I thought Meghan Markle was the first biracial in the royal family.
Hell no. Queen Sophia Charlotte of Mecklenburg is the catalyst for what we know as the modern day monarch. She's just 360. She's
I'll
just
look that up.
the circle. Yeah, look it up, bro. Queen Sophia. It's crazy how Charlotte is a black city and people don't even know the whole shit is named after her. Sophia Charlotte of Mecklenburg. Charlotte is in Mecklenburg County. That's how deep it is, and that's a majority black city. And it's named after a black queen that nobody don't even recognize. A black queen. You can look up the Duke of Florence, black dude. The Medici family, one of the biggest Italian families ever. Black man, look it up. Duke of Florence, a black dude. If you look at that dude, he looked similar to me. And he's a mixed guy, but I'm fully black. So for me, it's a thing of I just run with the dominance of my genetic makeup. And that's where the greatness lie in that. And I'm proud of that. So that's why if I have a child with a non-black woman, that child is black. And I'm not gonna let anybody else in the world tell me different because I know how dominant my gene is, and I feel it every day. Even when I listen to a powerful brother like Psycho, who stands on blackness, who champions blackness, who campaigns for blackness. I know in the recesses of his genes is blackness, and ain't nobody gonna ever change that.
But how do you if you said if you have a child with a first of all, do you want black children?
Excuse me. So I'm sorry. Would
you want black children?
I have black children. I have 5 children. I have 3 girls, 3 boys, and 2 girls. So
would you say then there's no need for black men and black women to be together?
Oh, I think that that's solely important. But I also understand that I live in a very diverse country who has a race of ethnicities from all parts of the world, and I understand that living in a diverse, multicultural nation that I live in, there's gonna be people who choose to love people outside of our race, and I can't bemoan them for that because not only is that their own personal choice, but I don't know what environment they grew up in. I don't know how, you know what I mean, who taught them love or who taught them about race and color and blackness, you know what I mean? So for me, I don't try to judge it or try to get in that argument. I just try to, for myself, love black and always, promote blackness and always try to show my beautiful black family every chance I get, So that's why I stand with it.
Well,
because I was in the army, I was in the army for like 8 years, Renee, and I lived in Germany, I lived in Spain, I lived in Texas, I was stationed in Greenland for 6 months. Ain't no black women in these places. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these places I was at, and I was fortunate enough where I would meet a black woman, and I was fortunate, that got me a sister. With the other brothers, with the German girls, with the Korean girls, with the white girls, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I think it's important that black families stay together because we need it living in the nation that we live in. But I can't bemoan others who don't love, like totally black. I won't beat them down for that.
Well, I'm gonna just say this, and then I'm gonna mute. When you say, I just want to say, when you say that mixed people are black or, whoever I have a child with. My child's black. What you're saying, huh?
No, I was going to say, Arthur, this is the queen you was talking about. That looked like a Becky. Now she might be a mulatto, but she's not. Like I would have known she had any black in her unless you told me. I would have never known.
It's few pictures that show, and then there's some pictures you can see the pouty lips, Psycho. You can see the facial features. It's some,
I'll go look at some more. It's some more pictures here. There's some more pictures here. I showed one. There go another one right here. There go another one. That again, I wouldn't have known unless you told me. That looked like a Becky straight up.
They whited the picture up, but it's somewhere you can see that black.
Well, here go another one. There go another one right there. Yeah, I would have never known.
Yeah,
I'd have never known. She looked whiter than Meghan Markle.
Black
Look at this one. This one, oh my goodness, that's a full Becky right there. Look at that.
Hey, Psycho, you know I ain't taking your opinion, nigga. I ain't taking your opinion.
I hear you. Oh man. All right.
Yeah, but I appreciate y'all, man. I just want to, because y'all I be nervous, man, because I be like, damn, I want to get in on this conversation, but I don't want to get beat down because they have some validity to their argument, but I'm just like really like staunch in this idea that the black genetic code is the strongest code. So whatever we touch becomes us. But I also hear you guys' points too. So, and I definitely appreciate y'all letting me come up. And it was great talking to you, Miss Renee.
No doubt. I appreciate you coming up, Arthur. Anytime.
No problem.
You already know. Yeah. Yeah, we've been on for a minute. Renee, you got anything else you want to get on? Anybody, unless somebody else want to come up, I'll drop the link one more time, see if anybody else want to come up, had the conversation. As y'all know, we'll talk about this for a minute, because we just here to let y'all, we just here to pretty much open your eyes to the indoctrination that we have forced on us, and the only ones that's still keeping this thing going is us. We're the only, we had it forced on us, but we're the only ones that's keeping it going. We're the only ones. Nobody else. It's a bit of pride there why that's going on, I believe. You there, Renee?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off of here. I don't have nothing else to say. I think I've said a lot enough. It's all
I
out.
bet you ain't too good, so yeah. I already know. You actually gave me more time I thought you was gonna give.
Yeah, peace, y'all. Thanks everybody who tuned in. Appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. I guess I'll go ahead and close this down. I think everybody who's going to come up came up already, so I'll go ahead and get ready to shut this down. We dropped a few hours. We got most of our points in. I'm sure motherfuckers will make streams later talking crazy with no pushback. They'll run back to the echo chamber talking crazy to whatever. But family, I appreciate all y'all for coming through. Please click like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean? Very important that you share. Very important that you click subscribe as well. And if you do click subscribe, or if you haven't already, please click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we do go live. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. And that's for all my supporters out there. And to my haters, y'all already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I embrace these. I don't know you fucking showed up unless y'all either comment, click the link, or you click dislike. You can still kindly share this motherfucker. Don't be selfish. And then you can go ahead and just unsubscribe. You know what I'm saying? Because, if you got a problem with us trying to identify our blackness instead of letting other people identify our blackness, then you probably ain't on none of these motherfuckers right here. Y'all already know. And family, please consider becoming a Patreon. You know what I'm saying? So you can have access to any stream I do. You can also get a chance to get your hands on some exclusive content. And I have no limits on there. Whatever you feel like the channel's worth, that's what you donate. I appreciate any donations given. Shout out to all my Patreon out there. And also, family, please, you can also follow me on Twitter and the Gram family at SYKOPATHeist, spelled the same way as the channel. And also, please subscribe to my other channels, especially the Black Building. That channel link will be in the description. And as always, if you're looking for any graphics, artwork, designs, or logos, please consider hitting up our sister Renee at Renee Black Graphics on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you're looking for any t-shirts, hoodies, all custom designs, please consider hitting up a store. All these links will be in the description as always. And yeah, family, I appreciate all y'all for coming through. Not sure we'll be on tomorrow, maybe not. If not, I will catch y'all fresh and early on Saturday on my Wake and Bake build. Y'all already know what it is. And yeah, we're gonna try to make this Saturday our first game night of the year. We're gonna try. I promise you, we're gonna put our best foot forward. I promise you. I've already got some ideas for something. And yeah, family, as always, I appreciate all y'all for coming through. You know what I'm saying? Everybody for commenting, everybody for watching. I appreciate everybody who came on the panel. Shout out to all y'all. I want to give a peace and black power. Holla black at your boy. We out.